Happy Friday night, everybody. Welcome to D-Cycle Live on Friday. Very, very last minute impromptu live stream here, but I just wanted to hang out. Wife is out of town with her sister. It's just me and my boys tonight, so I just thought I'd hop on here, maybe chat with you, some of you that might be doing nothing like me on a Friday night, and we'll see what's going on. I have already got a book here to act. Everybody.
What is going on?
Not much, man. Out on a Friday night. It's a bachelor's weekend here in the Thacker house. It's just me and my boys.
Uh-oh. Guys night out, so it's just a matter of just hanging out, huh?
Yeah, guys night in.
Guys night in.
Yeah. How you been, man?
All right, not too bad, just trying to keep stuff straight,
For sure,
the dream, as they say.
Yeah. Just got back from the a-hole of Missouri, so we could talk a little bit about that tonight, and of course we'll leave the chat open if we get some more people in here. It could be a Q&A if we want, and there may be a certain bike builder on here later too. He said he might hop on here around the top of the hour, around 8 o'clock Central. So if you want to hang out for a little while and just BS, shoot the poo, right? Yeah.
That works.
We're live on YouTube. You want to say hi? Hi. You want to come over here where they can see you? Here, pop in there a little bit. That's
hi. Oh. Hello.
No, that's not him. No. Who's it? This is a friend of Dad's. He met at FDBM.
Is that Tony?
This is Toby. Close. He can read pretty good for a boy in kindergarten. I'll tell you that, man. They're teaching these kids stuff that I never would have thought I would have learned in kindergarten. It's certainly not what they've got in their curriculum these days. It's nuts.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like it's really
they're reading words that are this long, and I'm like, I'm just trying to color in between the lines in kindergarten,
right. Yeah, my kids keep on telling. They come back and tell me what they're learning and all this, and I'm like, man, the whole preparatory type thing, and
it's
so they told me when I graduated, like, hey, all right, good luck, have a nice life.
Yeah, it's like you really learn what I really learned what they were learning, because during the pandemic, I had to pretty much me and my wife had to be their teachers, because they just sent a big packet of paperwork home, and there you go, teach your own kids. And it's tough teaching a kid that's in special education too. I'm like, where do I start? And like the first night, it was like it took 2.5 hours to get through the homework the first time. It was nuts. And I'm like, I'm not cut out for this. I'll just go do my graphic design stuff.
Even more than homeschooling type styles, because it's that much more.
Yeah.
With this. Yeah, my goodness, I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, my son has. It was really strong early on, but he has ADHD and my daughter has ADD. So when they were younger, it was more challenging, especially with my wife and me deployed often. But aside from that, he's grown up and he's a solid student now. But it's homeschooling like that. I mean, especially when they just say, okay, we're shutting school down because of COVID or whatever the C word is. And now you get it yourself. That's huge respect and props.
That first week was a hell week. Just trying to get into the swing of it. Working 8 hours right here where I'm sitting, then having to go in there for 4 hours to do homework with 2 kids. Ugh. Glad those days are over.
Took some adjusting, I'm sure.
Oh, it did. It was a challenge, but we overcame. So what's been new with you? What's going on?
Well, just trying to get caught up with content between, sending out sticker stuff, and I've got videos and junk that I haven't even edited that I've been trying to get to do, and plus the motivation to do. We finished our winter term. Bless you. We finished our winter term for college. Right? The middle of March.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna take a break. We've been doing school almost solid for 3.5 years. I'm like, I'm just gonna take a break for a while and just relax
Yeah, you got
with work and everything.
Yeah, when you can. Taking a break can be hard. I know that for sure, but you got to have some you time, man.
Yeah. How
That's
about
what
you
the
guys?
bikes are for, right? That's what the
Yeah,
bikes are
absolutely.
for. Yeah.
Well, you understand that more than us. I mean, right lately until recent days, there's been no riding. I mean, you're further north and more towards the Midwest than I am.
Yeah, and the weather here just doesn't want to make up its mind because
No.
when we went out to Uranus, we got very lucky
Yeah,
because
that's what I heard.
it had rained the whole week before. Is this mic too loud? Do I need to
No,
turn up or down,
you're
or am I
good.
okay?
You're
Okay,
good.
I
If
can't monitor my.
if you can hear background, then they're out there watching like an Avengers movie or something. My
Oh, I
daughter.
got kids playing
Yeah.
DS
So
and or Switch or whatever the kids do these days.
yeah.
Kids with their hula hoops and Pac-Man video games. No, we got really lucky. It didn't rain on Friday. When I met up with Percy about an hour south of me off of I-64, it was probably 35 degrees,
Ooh. Okay.
which the cold didn't bother us so much because we had sun
Yeah.
and
That makes.
we've got heated gears, so it was a breeze to get out there. I think from where we were there, it was like a 3-hour ride, and it's like straight interstate. You get through St. Louis and you're going 80 because
Yeah.
Missouri speed limits are very forgiving, and there's not many police out in Missouri either. But no, we got out there. Then the next day they were calling the forecast for rain. They were like 30% chance of showers in the morning, and like, okay, all right. And me and Percy are the only two that were able to ride because it was
Can you hear it?
there's Nappy.
Hey!
Oh my
Nappy and
Lord!
Jared. I thought I was just gonna do
It's
Jared.
too small. Well, Jared,
Just get close together.
I'm
like you
just
like
gonna
each
be
other.
honest. Jared was nervous since he's never podcasted, so he asked me if I would go on with him. I was like, sure. But the problem is we only have one camera and one microphone set up.
You're just gonna have to pretend you like each other and get real next to him.
He's right here. It's just not fitting on the screen very well.
This is gonna be a long podcast.
It's gonna be a long night, man. Well, we do. Like I said, we might have a couple guests on later. I got a couple people in the chamber.
Toby, I thought yours was northern. Why does it say north?
That's why it
North
says
End.
that. It's to let everybody know it's not that. It's not northern.
Oh,
End.
okay. So it's my mistake. I've read it wrong this whole
No,
time.
it's. I've dealt with it all my life.
Oh my gosh, I
I-
can't believe I got it wrong.
It's all good. I'd agree if they'd give me some of that toilet paper inheritance, but aside from that, I don't want that last name.
Toilet paper
Here.
inheritance. Well, I bet you
Yeah.
they made a killing
Jared?
the last couple of years.
Our chairs
Ain't
are
that
too
the
big.
truth? This would have been the right year to have that last name. Right, last couple of years.
Oh man, yeah. But anyway, on Saturday, and Epi will tell you this too. It kind of almost we barely got drizzled on the way to breakfast in the morning on Saturday, and then it didn't really do anything. And the sun come out. It got a little windy that day, but it hit 60 something, and it was nice. And then on Sunday it was even better. Like me and Percy had like the perfect ride home.
Yeah.
But so we
That's
ended
good
up getting
stuff.
lucky on the weather and did some great riding out there. And we're going to go over all this on the next show and everything. And maybe since Brittany's here, Brittany and Jared, of course, because Jared is Brittany's boyfriend. He came out there with us too. Took part in the shenanigans, but we had a good time.
You don't have to. You don't have to take.
Trying to sit
You don't have to
behind
take the
me.
back seat to her.
Oh god. Can you guys have to share earphones? Will those things reach over?
Well, so I
I don't know
have.
if we want to break them.
Yeah, they'd probably break. Mine are. Well, if I turn my head, you can probably tell. They're like. What is it? Open, closed, or whatever they call it. Open back. So he can
Okay.
he can kind of hear it. It's just not very loud. So we're trying to make it work.
I might have
Okay.
to pull a podcast up on StreamYard and just listen to it on YouTube or something.
There, I'm just gonna post the link there in the chat. If you guys want to join the live stream, you go ahead. It's We'll make it a party. So I got nothing to do. It's Friday night. It's just me and my kids hanging out. So, yep. But no, I mean, do you plan on coming to FDBM this year?
I don't know. It's up in the air still for us.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
just
was
gonna
hoping
say,
to, but I just don't know.
okay. Well, the writing out there was pretty stellar. It was
Yeah.
good. We felt bad for Ryan and Nick and Brittany and Jared because they had to drive car. They were driving cars behind us, and it was me, Percy, and one of the locals out there, Andy, who we met, who's a lifesaver. We went for him. I think we'd be kind of lost, especially with routes. But he took us on a great route that took us to the Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh, nice.
So we
it
we
was
went,
really pretty.
yeah, lots of twisties, and I mean nothing real technical, like just some fun twisty roads.
Yeah.
You're going uphill, you're going in the Missouri hills. Of course, when you hit the lake, that's cool. But I think people that come are going to enjoy this ride. It was, especially when it greens up, because it's still pretty brown out this way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the trees
And at
aren't
that
budding
time
up
frame,
yet.
it will be nice. Yeah, we didn't hit that area, but we hit as a part of the poker run last summer.
Mhm.
Here, Jared. Now we'll be able to see your face.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm gonna have one of these fabled beers.
Oh, those are good.
The Hershey one.
Those are
I didn't.
really good.
Last time I was out in Pittsburgh, they had it on tap, and I didn't try it. I should have.
Yeah, they're good.
So-
You can't. They're usually seasonal. It's something a lot of times. I guess depending upon where you are, but I'm here in Elizabethtown. You can't. I don't know. I guess you can find them in Lexington, but in Elizabethtown you can't find them.
Well,
They're
it gives
hard
me
to get.
it gives me an excuse to take a ride over to Indiana because they don't have Yuengling in Illinois yet.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point.
Every time they say they're going to unveil a state, I'm just watching Twitter like this, and then all of a sudden they don't have Illinois on there. Travis, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How about you guys? I sound all right?
Good. Can you turn your mic up a little bit, or is
Not
it
bad.
just me?
No, it's a
That's
little
better.
quiet.
Okay.
I try not to hit that too hard because sometimes I blow people out of the water with this.
Sometimes you got to hit it hard.
setup.
Well, that's what Uranus is for. So.
Well, we hit it hard. I'm going to eat some fudge here on stream.
Oh, we
There you
still
go.
have ours
Yeah, where
left
did
too.
ours go?
It's in the pantry.
Well, I came home today and all my chocolate was gone. I think either my kids or my folks ate all my chocolate.
Well, you got young ones, so that's
yeah.
you got to lock that shit up.
Mistakes were made.
Oh well.
No, it's good.
Now,
though.
when they see it, now it becomes bribing power.
Oh well, it's expensive bribing power. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
They're proud of their
probably
fudge
so.
out there,
They were proud
but
of
they
that
pack it.
fudge
They pack it
packet.
very nicely, as you can see. And the guy that did it was very gentle.
They were very sweet, very kind.
They were.
One
Nah,
hand
he
or two.
Packed the shit out of my fudge.
No, but
Oh.
I ended up getting like chocolate. They had a blueberry and then like a strawberry cheesecake, and then I got like an Oreo one. They have all
Oh,
types.
wow.
Oreo sounds good.
Yeah.
it was-
You went all in.
Just,
yeah.
well, you
That's
should, but never mind. I'm not going to start because they
I like-
go down.
I guess I like mine a little crunchy.
Well, they had some with M&Ms on the top.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
they had
what
some
did
with
you eat
nuts.
last
Help your mouth
night?
not in your hand, right?
Yeah, they had nuts in it too.
Start doing that kind of stuff, saying that kind of stuff, and people are going to wonder, what did you eat last night?
You want nuts in your fudge?
you, had all that stuff you had that stuff in Uranus? Oh my gosh.
No, that place is a trip though. It's without a doubt a tourist trap.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's one of the things that's so cool about it is the jokes don't stop.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody
yeah.
inside, all the employees, they are in on it. You know,
Yeah,
you
Jared
walk
asked
in,
one
yeah.
of them. He asked one of them. He goes, "Do you ever get sick of telling these jokes?" And the one guy's like, "Nah, this is great every single day."
Yeah, as soon as you walk in the door, they yell, "Welcome to Uranus!"
And then when you
Every
leave,
month.
they say thanks for sliding into Uranus.
The jokes write themselves. What can I say?
Right.
They do.
They don't get old. They just don't. But we had a terrific time out there. I can't wait to get this. I mean, we've already got some contacts for the location for the actual meetup event, so that's going well. There's lots of places to stay out there, eat so good. The Route 66 diner we ate breakfast at was very good. Good photo op there too. I think Brittany and Jared had some FOMO when we went riding.
Yeah, we did definitely.
100%. I think
Yeah,
even
I was.
my phone had some FOMO. I was looking at the routes we took on Google Maps, and it said not driving. It said you were motorcycling this area, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I was.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
And I think my phone was like, no sensible person would drive this way, from Osage Beach back down to St. Robert. Only motorcyclists take this crazy route.
Yeah. For good reason too. It's a good route.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
you know. Go ahead, Trey.
I was gonna say that's the thing that sucks when you're trying to map like anything Route 66. You try to do it on Google and it always takes you everywhere but.
Well, here's a story. Here's a story I got to tell you. So me and Percy, I was telling Toby that me and him rode from Illinois. He met me in Illinois down here on 64, and me and him took 64 out. Well, we got to Sullivan, Missouri, stopped at a Denny's, had breakfast, and then like, let's take 66 the rest of the way to Uranus. I'm like, okay, probably be a cooler route. It might take us a little longer, but I said, let's do it. Now, 66 is so tricky because it segregates in so many spots. You have to get on the interstate, off, go across the interstate, get back off the interstate, and get back on. So we're going down. We're on the right side of 64, and we're going down the road. We get to a T to where you can cross the interstate over the top of it, of course, or you can keep going. It's like, let's just keep going. So we start getting it. We're doing about 55, and then all of a sudden I see a sign that says pavement ends right before this gnarly curve.
Oh shoot!
So we're starting to hit this curve. I'm like, when does this road end? So as soon as the road straightens up, the road just stops, and it's a dirt track pathway with gravel all over it.
Oh wow!
Percy's got that brand new road glider.
Oh yeah, lower fairings and everything. So there's rock
so
kicking up all
I'm
over.
in front. Luckily, I'm in front, and I've got the lighter bike because I've got the soft tail. And I'm telling we're talking to each other in the cardos, luckily, and I'm like, stop, got to turn around. This isn't a road anymore. So he's like, oh man, are you serious? But luckily I stopped probably 25 feet before the road ended, was able to turn around and got righted. Like, let's just stick to the interstate.
Wow.
So was that, I'm not familiar with that area. Is that part of 66? Or
What's that?
Was that part of 66? The road that went to gravel?
No, actually, you were supposed to turn and go over the top of the interstate, but there was no sign.
There's no.
Every place we saw, there was a sign that says Route 66 with an arrow, so that way you stay on the right. There was no sign.
Gotcha.
Right before that, we passed what looked like Joe Exotic's tiger farm, because they had lions and tigers and wild animals at this exotic petting zoo.
Yeah, I had Jonesy sent me a Route 66 map from AAA.
There you go. Hopefully it doesn't take you to no pavement roads.
No, we were. You guys may or may not have heard about that. That's something we're planning on doing. That's the Badgers are actually putting together for 2023. Is doing Route 66 in reverse from Santa Monica, I guess, where it starts or ends technically.
So you think it's San Diego, is it?
It's something like that. Santa Monica, San Diego, somewhere in that area.
And
then just go straight to Chicago. And then we'll finish. The plan is to finish the Sunday before the Sturgis 120th rally.
Okay.
And then go over to the rally for the week.
Oh, that sounds cool. Even if I could just ride with them up Illinois or something, that would be neat.
Well, and that's why when you brought that up, I was like, well, I had my ears perked, especially for the 66 route, because we've been on it a little bit during the World Record Poker Run, but that was not what you're describing. So I was like, I've only that kind of road right there. I've hit that in Sturgis going to the Buffalo Chip, when you go the back way, but that's it.
Yeah.
Is that going to be another world record type poker run or type?
No, this is just a hell of a ride. But as I say, we when we did the poker run last year, we weren't up in that area of Uranus, but we were about we went to the second stop was in Little Rock, and then the third stop was in Eureka Springs. So we were about 2.5 hours south of Uranus.
Mm.
Who would have known assholes were that close to us? How is
How's
it?
the fudge?
Which flavor is that?
This is
It's a light brown.
like the strawberry cheesecake one.
Oh, okay.
Looks like strawberry shortcake. This one's good. The chocolate was good too, but I even got bottled Uranus water. So I drank water right from Uranus.
You just can't.
Like he said, it just never ends.
Yeah.
No, it just doesn't end. Thanks everybody for joining the live stream. Plan on being on here for a little while tonight. Like I said, we might have a few more guys jumping on here later. If you have questions or whatever, leave them in the side chat. I haven't done a live stream in probably 3 years.
It's been a while.
It's probably weird seeing me even put up a video.
You
Which I have to
started
say-
doing more this year.
Yeah. I've been
A
trying to
handful.
get the boys involved. They want to be on YouTube, so I was like, let's just do a couple videos then. It's fun though.
Yeah. Well, it's especially with the craziness that's going on these days. It's about the only way a lot of us get together and chat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, my daughter, that's one of the things. She's just turned 15 a couple months ago, and she wants to do the whole YouTube thing as well. But it's like they don't think about all the work in editing and design and production, all that crap that comes into play with it, even for amateurs.
Yeah, it's a lot more. I just started. I think you guys know that. I haven't been doing it very long, and there's definitely a lot of like planning and editing and just a lot to maintain it.
Ain't that
Yeah,
the
it's
truth?
a lot of work, and it's one of the reasons that I stopped doing videos as often as I was. I actually like doing the podcast more. I just have more fun with it. I was
That
kind of
makes
getting
sense.
burnt out. I was getting burnt out,
Yeah.
and then COVID hit, and then I was dealing with,
Well, that's a
3
lot of
hours
demand on you,
homework
man.
every
That's
night.
especially what you just described with the schoolwork and the work. I mean, that's a lot of demand on you suddenly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just figured if I'm going to start it back up, just do videos I want and just put them out whenever I want. I'm not worried about getting YouTube famous.
Well,
You know.
the thing with you, Dustin, too, is your videos quality wise was so high. I can't imagine you didn't put 20, 30 hours in prepping and shooting a video, much less the editing portion of it.
Well, I'll tell you that Route 66 video I did, which I'm kicking myself in the butt because I didn't finish that series or even do another video. But I mean, you're talking, it was 2 days of filming, a month of planning, getting with the venue owners and coordinating with her and making sure I could get in when they were showing a movie so I could get some of the crowd coming in and shots of the screen and all that stuff. I had a buddy come do drone shots for me because I didn't have a drone at the time. Now I do. But the editing, I think that video took me a week and a half to edit every night for at least
Wow.
4 or 5 hours because I shot so much footage. It was a lot to go through.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had that problem not last year, but year before. I went to Blue Ridge Parkway,
Yeah.
and the way my GoPro was set up, I could run 8 hours straight, and I just turned it on and recorded, and having to go
You
through
had a ton of B-roll along with talking and oh god, yeah.
I mean, it was so much footage, and it was a day 3. I got caught in a downpour, and at the time I was using the media mod to record all the audio too, which totally destroyed that. So it was a lot of voiceover and stuff at the end of the series, but yeah, it was a lot to go through with that much footage.
So do you always use the media mod now? You said you went because you said you've gone through like 3 of those, right?
Yeah,
Are you still using them?
No, I started using one, the H1N,
Gotcha.
which I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. I mean, yes, it works great and it has a lot of cool features, especially having the limiter on it. You know, I don't have to worry about blowing out my audio or distorting.
Oh, okay. So it has like an audio.
Yep. It goes
just
negative 6 dB, and that's where it tops out at. And
Good. That's where you want it.
It'll brings everything down it needs to.
Sounds like we need to bring you on the channel there for the next one of our audio workshop.
I figure you're probably going to wrangle me into at least one or two of those things.
If you guys weren't tracking that, by all means, you may have heard of it already. But there it is. There's some more.
That's straight sugar. Wow.
Forgive Dustin while he sits there and starts.
Should I go get our fudge?
Sure.
Twitching.
It'd be hilarious to save a little bit, give it to your kids right before you're leaving for 2 days, right?
Oh,
Rocco, you want some fudge? Come get it.
It's like
Fudge. You can see, but you can't have this, buddy. I'm sorry. You can smell it. You just can't eat it.
It's like holding a steak in front of a predator or something.
He's got milk and egg and peanut allergies, so he can't have it.
Oh,
Aw.
that sucks.
He's a good eater too. And that's the one that could have everything is picky. This one, who's got 4 or 5 food allergies, severely EpiPen.
wow, yeah.
he can't have some of the stuff the rest of us can.
Yeah, the only thing for me is cherries. And as much as I love cherries, I can't have the real thing.
No.
Yeah.
So does he have the allergies that he has? Have you all had have you done any of the testing for like? You probably have. Like our son has got a bunch of like outdoor like allergies to. He goes.
Yeah, like he's got to have.
Which one did you-
When it hits spring and summer, he's got to have Zyrtec every morning.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we all have. It's the Midwest. We have seasonal allergies.
Yeah,
probably
but he
no
actually
matter what.
gets a shot every week, and he's been doing it for about a year now or so. He'll start going down to every 2 weeks, but it's to build up his system.
Yeah.
By exposing, in small doses the whatever the toxins he's allergic to, so to speak.
Yeah.
Toxins may not be the right word, but he did the whole thing where they did the back piece where they brush your back with sections, and it went
It's a scratch test. Yeah. It's like a scratch.
exactly.
Yeah.
But he has an EpiPen also, so he has to, whenever he goes to get his shot, he keeps that with him that day, just in case he gets a reaction of some kind to it.
Yeah, and the school's real good about it. Every time they have a snack or something, we get a message. Can he have this? And he knows to ask too.
Yeah.
Which is good. It gives us peace of mind. But yeah,
No, it's
luckily we haven't had to stick him with a shot yet.
Yeah.
So
Pretty.
Is it just he can't ingest it, or like he can't be in the same room with it?
He could be in the same room with it. It's not like people that have those peanut allergies where they if they just smell it, they break out in hives. No,
Wow.
he just has to ingest it. Like he just had blood work done again, and numbers didn't go down. So we're still hoping he outgrows it, but there's a chance he may not. But he's got to go back every 6 months, and
it's incredible the resiliency of kids like that. When especially that, it just seems like my experience, they tend to have a different level of maturity and wisdom. They almost kind of have to, it's a survival instinct sort of. They learn that stuff more quick. It's quicker to learn it. They like what you said. They learn to ask certain things, but in order to ask that calls for a certain amount of maturity to remember to do that every single time.
for sure. Oh God, I am ready for this crap weather to stop.
I know.
Oh
Ohio.
my gosh,
is a
yeah,
roller
it started.
coaster.
Did you get sleet, Toby?
No,
she so-
had hail. She had hail today.
We had
We had- we
hail.
were-
We just like it was raining most of the day, on and off, like really heavy rain. Then it would stop. The sun would come out for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then it would just overcast, storm again. We were eating dinner, And out of the blue, I was like, oh, I guess it's raining again. I look over at the window and it gets louder and louder. And then you see hail just coming down and everything covered in hail. Like, where the
Now,
heck
for
did
us, it
this
was
come
pouring
from?
rain. It started probably around maybe 3 o'clock ish for us, and
Yeah.
it just started pouring. But it
was-
only lasted for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes or
Isn't
so.
it? The rain in
It's-
Kentucky is so weird.
It's weird. Like tomorrow, we have a hog meeting we're going up to tomorrow, and we were going to ride, but it's threatening to snow.
What is
Yeah.
this? You
So,
see this in the
spammer.
comments? Is this
Can
spammer or something?
Remember, yeah.
8
That's gotta
Korean.
be a spammer. What the heck does that even mean?
You know you've made it if you got a spammer in your chat.
Holy crap! There's a bunch of them. I just realized that
I wouldn't want to cut my feet.
there's
and
like
walk on
10
them.
of those. You see that?
How do I find this?
Right there.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Turn.
I'm gonna block that user or
Korean
put him in.
Nicole really wants us to cut our feet.
Oh my
No
gosh!
kidding.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut myself some fudge.
Man,
So
that's
Brittany, I
crazy.
gotta ask you because I in this last year I went from a Sportster to a Dyna. What's it been like for you making that transition? Because I was a little nervous moving up to the bigger bike.
I wasn't really that worried about moving up because I don't feel like the Softail is that much bigger. I do have my Sportster is a 1200. Because I feel like a lot of people start with the 883, and I went straight to a 1200.
Guilty.
Mine
But
was
I can't
1200.
I can't really speak to how much I like it or anything yet because it's been terrible weather. And then on top of that, my first ride on my new bike, I ran over a nail. So I was down for like a week waiting for tires. Then it was bad weather. And then we did a handlebar install. And now my brakes won't work. And I don't know what the heck that's about, but
It's been at the dealership for like 3 weeks now.
yeah, they
Yeah.
just they ordered the part. They said that there was a seal in the master cylinder that had like broken. So we were waiting for that part. Well, Harley just like never shipped it to the dealership.
So
It still hasn't shipped either.
So
So
we bought
really?
it ourselves and then dropped it off. And now they installed it today, but they aren't getting the right amount of pressure like in the system. So we don't know if it'll be better like tomorrow. They didn't have time to do a test ride, and then obviously with the rain and the hail, I'm sure they didn't want to go out anyways.
right. I ran into a similar problem last year when I bought the Dyna because I bought it's an 06 Dyna lowrider, but it only had 7,000 miles, less than 7,000 miles on it, so it barely been ridden. And the first thing I do is start going through it, changing all the fluids, and I start checking the brake fluid. Can't talk. And it was nasty. Like it had all kinds of weird shit in it. In fact, I got a rebuild kit because it's acting up now. But I tried to flush all that out, but the top cap seal was leaking,
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll go to the dealer and pick it up. I order it. 5 weeks later, I finally get it.
That's
The supply chain
ridiculous.
issues still are affecting us.
Yeah.
Well, and like this part, and probably yours too, they're not even on back order. For whatever reason, the Harley warehouse just hasn't shipped it.
They're on build order.
Yeah. It's not on back order. It's just
Yeah.
They're wait for Santa's elves to build them.
Yeah.
It's on a boat in the middle of the ocean right now. It's just
That
a
could be.
float boat.
Yeah, made jokes about that, 6 months ago or 3 or 4 months ago, saying, "Damn it, you can send a William Shatner can go into space, but we can't get stuff into the ports to get bikes fixed
No
up."
shit.
I work in transportation, and I can tell you it used to take 60 to 90 days to get from China to America. It's now to 110 to 130 days.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
I'll tell you one thing: there's no shortage of truckers because all the truckers that me and Percy saw at 64 to and from Uranus was immense.
Yeah.
So you had a lot of trucks running on there at Uranus.
They pulled out of Uranus.
You know what? As long as it doesn't have that clown face from at Maximum
The
Overdrive.
Green
yes.
Goblin. I love that movie. That movie's so underrated, but
Oh my
man,
god.
I hope they never remake it. I hope they never remake
Yes,
it.
I absolutely hope they never remake it.
I love that movie. I've got it on DVD. It's actually hard to find on DVD.
Uh,
So did you start with an 883 or did you have a 1200 sport?
no, mine was a 883, but when I bought it, it already had a 1200 in it. And it was a 2000 model, so it was solid mount. Vibrate your damn hands off.
Oh Lord.
And I rode the piss out of it. I bought it with real low miles too. But yeah,
as we all do.
Yeah.
I love that bike. Don't get me wrong, but I'm turning 40 this year, and it's like I just couldn't take it anymore. And I want to do more miles. I want to do more distance, and the Sportster just wasn't gonna do that for me. So
yeah, you got to get a. I mean, you could. I mean, it's possible, yeah, to take a Sportster across the country. But if you want a little bit more, you want more comfort, you want bags, you want luggage, you want to be able to bring stuff with you. I almost think you have to move up.
Well, and I'm 250 pounds, and my wife has started to want to ride with me 2 up.
Yeah.
And the first few times we ever rode on the Sportster, my balls were on the tank. I mean, let me tell you.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean,
when you get off the bike and your balls are literally feel like they're still vibrating, there's something wrong. It was that bad.
that depends. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Could be right. Could be wrong. Could be right.
But yeah. So, and I'll be honest. I was looking at a Dyna was kind of my next. Like I kind of wanted a Dyna, but I was also looking at a Road King, and I'm kind of wishing now, because my wife really seems to enjoy riding. Now that we have something more comfortable for her, now I wish I had bought a Road King, or maybe even had went crazy and spent the money on a Street Glide. But
Yeah.
Brady, are you guys going through Man of War?
Yeah, my bike's at Man of War right now.
Just curious. That's the only one in Lexington that we've ridden to or been to.
Yeah, it's the only one here. I'm not sure. We're like about an hour from Louisville, and then about the same from Florence.
Yeah.
okay,
So, I
so
mean,
you're
if
not
we
that far
needed
from
to,
me.
we can go up
No.
to those ones. But
I want to see bluegrass.
You've got like, I mean, Florence is there, but you've got like, once you get past Florence, you've got, what is
Yeah,
it, like
there's like
four
four.
Yeah,
right there around
there's a few
Cincinnati
over
that
in
are
Cincinnati.
we've been to some pretty decent ones.
Yeah, there's 4 within 30 minutes of where I live out in Columbus.
Yeah. Yeah, we took the kids up to the Cincinnati Aquarium
Oh,
a
yeah.
year and a half ago. And I had that on Instagram because our van broke down the first time we were heading there on the highway. And thank God we were still in the Elizabethtown area. But we ended up going back up there. And when we did, we stopped by like 4 different dealerships in that area. I mean, I can't even remember all the names of them now, but yeah, there were some good ones. But you guys should, when the next chance you get, you should swing by Bluegrass again, because they have moved, and this new dealer's Tony told you that dealership
Yeah,
is
we've
bad.
been.
Oh, you have been there? Okay, good, because that new
yeah.
dealership is badass.
Yeah,
It's
every
funny
once in a while, like was it like a couple weeks ago? Tony was over at Bluegrass. He sent us a picture. Jared and I happened to be in Louisville, so I was like, let's just show up and surprise him. He'll have no idea we're coming to the dealership.
Not only that, they had the brand new Lowrider ST there, so that was a
Yeah,
added bonus.
that was too damn funny, because the day that they did the opening, it was not when they did the St. Patrick's Day weekend, when they did their technical grand opening party that Saturday, that we went up for the Thursday night bike night, and then I went up Saturday or Friday morning, and I think it was during that Thursday, somebody had taken Tony's bike, the old Fat Bob, out for a damn test ride. I thought it was so funny seeing somebody else besides him riding that bike.
I know,
And it
isn't
turns
it
out somebody
weird?
bought it, so
Yeah, I kind of have a love-hate
knew
for the
how
new
well
ST.
kept that motorcycle was.
what's that?
I said if only they knew how well kept that motorcycle was.
Oh, Tony's?
That was probably the attraction of how low mileage it was.
Yeah.
Like, man, this thing really looks like brand new, except for this concrete on here. I wonder where that came from.
Mm.
Oh, gotta rub that grit in just a little bit. Don't you?
So now I'm attempting. I got to figure out what day I want to get there, either early or stay a day after the event this year, because I'm not missing that stuff. That stuff was hilarious.
Yeah, it made me mad because I was planning on being down in Kentucky to meet you guys at the last meetup, and right before that happened, me and my wife had rode 2 up on what's known as a triple nickel here in Ohio.
I want to do that.
I had done some adjustments to the suspension and it wasn't right, and it rubbed pretty much all the wiring in the back fender well.
Oh, man.
No.
I spent 4 solid hours soldering and adding wire and heat shrinking. I was so mad.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I bet a few fine curse words were said that day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially the 3 times I burnt my fingers on the damn soldering iron.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's how bad I am. Usually, I'm the person that when tries to start doing that stuff, a house gets set on fire or something.
Yeah, it's never good. Not a good sign.
No, honestly, at this point, my wife would be like, "Burn the house down." It'd probably be worth more.
Mm.
Yeah, that's no joke. We're actually in the process of looking at houses, and we're kind of like, maybe not.
I'd give it another year or so. Let things kind of settle. We
That's crazy right
supposedly we're at the top of a bubble right now, or near the top of the bubble right now. So that's what they claim or say.
the house we're in, we bought in 2008, right at the peak of when things last time went nuts, and we paid too much for this house.
Mm.
4 or 5 more
kind
years.
of like. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was just gonna say 4 or 5 more years, and once one of my kids is out of college, we're moving south somewhere. I want warmer weather.
Ditto.
Keep telling
Right,
Ryan.
Here,
We keep telling Mr. Ryan that he needs to move south.
Yeah. Anywhere south of where
Yeah,
he
just-
lives is
Yeah.
better than where he's at.
Even South
Doesn't have to go
Dakota.
that much far.
Even
farther
South Dakota
to-
from North Dakota.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
South Dakota.
I couldn't.
It'll be 20 to 30 degrees warmer in the winter if he moves that far south.
He told me the story of him and Nick driving back up from Missouri. He said within a 30-mile drive on the wherever they were, it went from 70 and beautiful to snowing.
Screw that. No, thank you.
They must pay really well up there.
Phil,
Good job.
Phil, you in
Even,
London?
even
London, Kentucky?
even the strippers are making 6 figures probably.
Couldn't
Is
pay.
Philip saying he's in London, Kentucky?
Phil?
I'm like
Yeah,
London.
He's got to be from around. No.
No.
That's
not
where
that Phil,
Wildcat
different
is
Phil.
in London, Kentucky. So Wildcat Harley.
He's not too far from Mr.
Oh,
Cox.
he said Lagrange. So he's up.
Oh.
That's a one hell of a typo.
Yeah, that's a big type.
Oh man.
That's more up your way, right?
I have no-
Lagrange is near. It's closer to Louisville. It's like north of Louisville a little bit, I think, because there's another person. God, I always get his handle wrong. It's like Sparkplug Rider, I think. He's in the Lagrange area too. So I want to say it's like.
right there
It's up
where-
71. I'm sitting here looking at a map because I've ridden past it or ridden through it, driven past it a few times, but I'm not incredibly familiar with it other than seeing the signs for it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've been that direction.
Sparkplug
Let's
Mike.
see, where's it at?
It's northeast of Louisville. It's right up here. You here you go. Search again. There.
Yeah, no, Wildcat is.
Oh yeah, it's not.
I'm sorry, not Wildcat. Man of War is, I think, on the north, the
East side of
western
town.
side of Lexington, isn't it?
Yep, northeast side.
Yeah, so yeah, and then London, Kentucky is probably an hour south of that, maybe hours, something like that.
Yeah, just an hour and change a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not too far away.
I don't think I would call Man of War north.
Well, it's on the north side of town.
It's over here on the east.
What's that?
Northern eastern side
It's
of
not
town.
north at all. It's freaking right there. It's like straight east.
All right, it's on the east side of
It's
town.
this far on the
Okay,
map.
well then I'm wrong. Okay, yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been to it
Jared's
before.
not
but-
reclaiming his directional sensibility yet.
If you look, it's one of the northernmost establishments on that side of town. So
I had the state tree problem. I could get lost with a GPS and a map. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, it's so funny because when I first moved to Kentucky and you'd ask anyone about like, oh, like, was that the north end of town or is it kind of west or where is that? And they would tell me a direction, then I'd go look on the map and I'd be like, that is nowhere near the direction you think it is. But I think the big thing is that it's everything's in like a circle. So it really throws you off. Like I'm used to the Midwest where everything's in straight lines, so it's really easy to know if you're going north or south or.
Well, Midwest directions are totally different. It's just down the road, just down the
True.
street. Yeah.
drive about 30 minutes that way, and you'll see a couple horses standing on the corner. Turn left there, and then go about a mile and a half till you see the lake, and my house is on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
As the crow
Or
flies.
if you're in Kentucky, you find the dick in the road.
Yeah, if you're Tony, you just watch for the dicks in the road.
Oh my gosh.
Tony now watches for the concrete on the road. It's
The concrete.
Oh.
Yeah.
Concrete dust and water trucks.
If you see a truck and you think there could be concrete, rocks, really anything loose in it at all, that's the wrong way.
He's out.
He's going home. If it
I-
rains, poor Tony, we're
cracks me up.
bashing on him so hard.
I mean, I crack on him in the chat all the time when you guys do the lives, but I mean, what can you say? I mean,
Well, we're doing one again on Tuesday.
I have to tell you guys, because I don't know if I've ever brought this up to anyone, but before I joined the podcast, when I had first just gotten introduced and was a listener, I reached out to Tony because I was like, oh, he's in Louisville. That's so cool. All these guys, they're like totally willing to meet up. We can go riding together. And I think we tried to make plans like 6 different times last year, and it never worked. And at that point, I told Jared, I go, I don't know if like he just doesn't like me. I don't know what the situation is, but I can never get a hold of Tony. Like it never works out. I guess I'm gonna give up on this. Fast forward like 7 months, and here I am, and we've ridden 5 different times this year already on the weekends. I mean,
Tony's
it helps
putting
that you got
miles
a
on
new
that
bike,
lowrider.
I guess.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's riding it, man.
'Cause
Well,
we
it's
have-
great,
I
right?
think he really likes it.
It's got that gunmetal gray look to it, right? So it's the dirt part is not a problem.
Oh,
think-
he's still watching for dirt.
Oh, I'm sure. Just the Fat Bob was much more,
Yeah, the
dirty.
black
Dirt was, yeah.
I'm trying to get him to come out here before July, because we tried to plan something last year in October. It didn't work out. So it's like, ride that bike out here. We go riding on a river.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out for like May. I think, right? You were thinking maybe May.
I know Ryan and the White Walkers were doing something. Is it Memorial Day weekend? They're trying to get me
Is
to
that
come
when
up. I don't know if I
Churchill
can make it. I'd like
Downs
to.
is?
No, we're going in the middle of the week.
We've got Thunder
Oh.
we've got a Thunder into E-Town Blues Bikes and Bands in Elizabethtown, what they've got over Memorial Day Saturday weekend. So
Oh, that would be fun.
yeah, the American Legion does the hosting for it in the parking lot, and then they go on a good ride, and it ends up in the middle of in the square in the streets of Elizabethtown, and they park. It's one time of the year where they like park all the bikes right there on the street, and it's it almost looks like a mini Sturgis. So
we always do there's the Susan B. Coleman cancer.
Yeah.
Every year they do a big thing in downtown Columbus, and all the bikers line up at part of the route, and we all sit there, rev our engines, and
it's cool.
done that a couple of times. That's always a lot of fun, to do stuff for that type of event.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Bikers.
it's the one thing I'll say about Columbus. If you like motorcycles and you like beer, We got a lot of it. There's like 100. I think in the Central Ohio area, there's like 150 microbreweries.
Wow.
Oh,
Holy
cool.
Well,
crap.
I'm just under an hour from the home of the Budweiser.
You know, it's funny. I can't stand beer. I can't drink it. Like I'm a whiskey moonshine kind of guy. Like that's my
Sounds like you
thing.
need to move south.
Yes, don't remind me.
There's lots
Yeah.
of it in Kentucky.
Hey, you throw a rock and you hit a distillery down here.
Yeah.
Damn straight. I'm 20 minutes away from the main Jim Beam distillery here. So
Columbus, Ohio. We need to go.
Reminds
there.
me, I got to
can't
get a new
remember
bottle.
How far Columbus is from us?
what's that?
Columbus is about an
I think
hour and a
it's-
half to Cincinnati, and then
Yeah, it's like
however
2.5
close.
hours from here, I think.
Ain't bad.
No, it's like 3.
Oh, whatever.
Here they go with
should
the
know
All about
that.
how fast you drive, man.
It's just up the road. I'll settle it right now.
It's nowhere near as far as home. That's the real-
That's a true statement. Look, it's an hour and a half to my office, which is over here.
Yeah, so that's all. Yeah.
And
you're-
that's like another hour
all right.
and a
You're
half.
probably right. Fine.
So
That's got
you
me killing you right now. If you
you
travel,
commute an hour and a half to work?
Heck no. No.
Can't
I
do
used
that.
to
Now
cover,
with these gas prices.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
I used to cover Kentucky, but they made some changes at our branch level. So I actually got an offer to cover the Cincinnati, Ohio branch. But yeah, I'm able to work remote, so I work
That's
at
good.
home. I get sick of my house now.
Yeah, they're doing that
You've
with
been
us
working
for
from
the
here
for,
for a year and a half now.
No,
Almost 2.
it's been at least 2 years.
2 years.
yeah. We're pushing on. We started teleworking from Fort Knox February of 2020, so we're pushing.
Mhm.
And they're telling us that there's still no return time scheduled or phased in yet. So and they said the teleworking period in some way, form, or fashion is here to stay for us. So
Wow.
Yeah, they just started opening our offices again. I think it's either this week or next week is when like the official opening is. We've been able to go to the offices anyways, but it's been more of like during
When
the
you need
majority
to.
of the pandemic, they were
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we would prefer for you to be at home for your safety.
right,
And then now that things have kind of like we know a little more and things have calmed down, and we've got the vaccines. They started opening stuff back up, but
yeah,
they kind of let us know. They said we ideally we kind of want it like half and half. They're like you
Yeah.
can go in more than that if you want, but we just prefer that people be going in half and half. I sweet talked my way into working from home, so
yeah. They're gonna have us technically like we're the workforce for us is on a pilot program is what they're calling it, but the that C word piece, we have to phase that out first,
yeah.
technically by whatever you want to call that, before we can start the pilot program piece of that. And then once that's over with, and it's like anytime there's a spike, they knock everybody back to phase 0, and we're like, okay, start all over again. Now we're back to teleworking just because of that. So it's but they're telling us that once we get all the phases back and everybody's back in, the teleworking will be anywhere between like 2 days where you got to come in. All the other days, and it doesn't have to be. It's not a fixed set of days. It's whatever 2 days you and your supervisors end up working out along for the team and the schedule. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, I've been eating Uranus fudge. Best fudge comes from Uranus. I know this personally.
tell you
Well,
what,
they
I'm
also-
gonna
they
go make
also,
a drink. I'll be right back.
No, for sure. They'll also grab your nuts for you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they
will.
roast your nuts for you,
Yeah, they grab them and bag them.
bag them and tag them.
It's funny because you go into the back, and they used to have a gun range back there, but they turned it into Uranus Liquors, so you could get they had wine from Uranus Vineyards, and it was posterior Chardonnay.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
didn't catch
they all
that.
had like weird names like that. I remember
Yeah.
that. They also had like Uranus whiskey and moonshine there, and
Yes, they
on the
did.
sign there it said "Get plowed in Uranus."
Yeah. I like that sign. That was a really funny one.
Yeah. It's no like we said, it's touristy, but it's a trip. It's fun. It's a
At least they have good fun with it. You know what I mean? They don't.
yeah, and they got a restaurant opening there this spring. It'll be open by the time we get out there. It was One Eyed Willie's Chicken Shack.
One-eyed Willie.
So I think
there.
like kind of the plan was to like for the meetup like on Friday we're gonna do a meet and greet there, so everybody coming can meet each other, talk and stuff like that. Then Saturday we'll have the event and stuff. We're still kind of making plans, and hopefully by the end of next week we'll have somewhat solid plans of the whole weekend. We still have to get together as 5 and talk about the weekend and kind of decide on what we want to do when. But I think we have some solid ideas, solid routes. There's no shortage of good stuff out there to do. So I think everybody that comes is going to have a good time as long as the weather cooperates.
Yeah, that's always a question. July though should be pretty. I mean, you might have a day here or there, but June is always a kind of a fuzzy month. Of it might be one way or the other. But yeah, July, I think you guys will be all right on that.
Yeah, July, August are our driest months.
There's one thing I do have to say, because you guys mentioned about you like we need to create some koozies, because you guys were talking about that. You need to create the big dick energy koozie. I want one of those. Okay. As soon as
I
I
thought
saw,
Legend Suspension was going to make those.
Not
I
if
might
we
not
do
go
it
with their
first.
marketing brand.
Hey, I still got the artwork I did for Shade Tree.
that's what I'm talking about. I want that.
I've got it somewhere here.
I want that. I guarantee it.
Oh, maybe we should do that.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was
all right, how much do you want per koozie? Since you come up with this idea.
But yeah, like I said, you make it, I will order it. I want one.
Well, we were contemplating doing koozies because, like I said, we had the Legacy Moto guys on, and they did these. They turned out really good. And beer drinking season is always in season.
You have to make sure to make make both the can and the beer bottle size.
Yes, the White Claw size.
Yeah, there you go. White Claw size.
Everybody drinking them seltzers.
Oh, that's funny. I actually I had a friend give me like, and I don't mean like a box. I'm talking about a case of it's Pabst Blue Ribbon iced tea. Hold on, I'll go get one. Hold on a second.
Okay.
What's he getting?
Some
What
sort of
is
cocktail.
this
Some
nectar of the gods.
some
cocktail
cocktail he's doing. Oh. Hey, did you drink all of Ryan's beers yet? Because I got.
I think I actually have 2 left. I only drank that one day.
Oh, it's delicious.
It was delicious.
Tastes delicious.
Brittany's like, you're copying Shade Tree Surgeon when you say that. I was like, does Shade Tree Surgeon have trademark on the word delicious?
Yeah, but it's
No.
how you say it.
I just, you get that. It's
Like I said,
delicious.
I'm not a beer drinker, and this was
hard
peach,
tea.
which is normally peach is always kind of fakeish, but I actually kind of like this. I actually drank one of these warm, which was kind of unusual.
Oh man,
And it's 4%
sounds
alcohol,
terrible.
so not bad.
Okay.
100 calories if you're counting that.
I don't mind the twisted teas in the summer when it gets hot, but
Yeah.
I don't really fear any beer.
Yeah, I wish I had the thing for beer, but it tears my stomach up. It really
Yeah, the
does.
thing of beer is I usually get full before I get drunk. That's why I drink whiskey too.
Man, normally I have a jar of Shine sitting in my refrigerator, and I don't right now, which kind of sucks. But yeah, like I said, I'm a whiskey and moonshine kind of guy.
Yeah.
Man, good apple pop. You know what? Technically, no, I do have Shine in my fridge, but it's creamsicle, which is a very strange flavor.
Yes.
But yeah, I have creamsicle moonshine in my refrigerator right now.
So these
How
are
about
not
that?
either. So
I
just
got
wanted to
some
see if they
old
were
smoky
live.
stuff. I don't know what. I don't
It's
really.
not bad, as far as just straight drinking. But I like mine a little spicier. I wish I could go because I think in the state they make it in, you can get a higher proof.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm new to this.
If you buy it legally.
Sorry, I'm over here
Right.
instructing Jared. He keeps word vomiting. I'm like, we're not muted, Jared. Everyone can hear your ADHD thoughts.
I'm looking at myself in the camera like, God, I need a haircut. Jesus Christ.
it's not actually. I'll be honest. I can't hear him most of the time until he turns towards the microphone because your microphone is very directional.
That's a nice thing about directional mics, huh?
Jared, haircuts are for quitters.
Yeah.
You got the mullet. What can I say? I'll tell you, I am jealous of Ryan though. I would love to have that FXR he bought. That.
Yeah, he got a good. From what he said, he found a good deal on that. It's a pretty good shape too. Original paint and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. It
and I made the
looks
joke. I said, "Look good."
immaculate in his video.
Mhm.
It definitely looks good from 10 feet away because obviously we haven't seen anything up close on it. But yeah, I like I said, I don't know why, and that like I said, that's why I kind of have the love-hate relationship with the ST. Like it's my kind of bike, it's my kind of riding, but those bags drive me bonkers. Like,
Oh, that they're unlevel or just the bags in general?
because they're not because they're not the same size. It's like, why didn't they put a 2-to-1 and put matching bags on it?
Yeah, but like our Dustin and my Sport Glide, they're not the same size either because
Yeah.
They did it because I don't know if you've seen a lot of training with these new lowriders and stuff. Just look at what the exhaust that Tony put on his bike. A lot of these sporty boys, they like to put that upsweep pipe
Up the
on.
upsweep exhaust, yeah.
So they did that
TBRs.
so you can put the 2-to-1 on the new ST and not interfere with the bag. I think they even said that in their announcement video that they lifted it for the upsweep pipes that people like to put on.
Wonder if an upsweep exhaust with all that coming out, if that would discolor the bag over time.
100%. That was my very.
That's
first
why
thought. I was like,
if I do upgrade from my tab, it's gonna be long pipe or pipes, like kind of what the Vance and Hine big shots, long shots or whatever. And
yeah,
chrome,
you and Dustin, you and I keep picking out all the same stuff. I'm like, man, our bikes are gonna be twinning here pretty soon.
no, he wants totally different exhaust than you do, though.
Well, the Vance and
Does?
Yeah.
well, just the Vance and Hines Pro Pipe is what they recommended me for my bike. That's on sale everywhere. You can
Yeah.
get it for like
Oh.
$700 now.
And
Or
I
600.
was trying to convince Brittany to maybe get that one because I've seen some cam install videos with that one, and that's a really
Yeah.
good pipe for putting like a S10 475 cam. It makes really good power.
Just stay 2-to-1. Don't get a 2-into-2.
See,
You want
that's the
that- you want
problem.
that pressure.
I really like the 2-into-2s.
Well,
I like the way they
the-
look better.
Yeah, well, on the big shots, they have a crossover in them, so you're still getting all
Oh,
that
do they
back
really?
pressure. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I'll
so
have
that
to
one's
look at
worth
'em.
that one's worth getting because you are getting all that back pressure.
Yeah, I prefer the 2-to-2 from a sound standpoint, but I obviously know the 2-to-1 looks sleeker and obviously it's supposed to be more torque. But yeah, I do not like the short ones, the ones that kind of drop right behind your feet type of, if you got a mid control.
Yeah,
They're too loud. They're kind of obnoxious. Like they're overly obnoxious.
They look fucking cool.
They,
I don't know why he's throwing me under the bus over here. They look
a
fucking
hardtail
sweet.
chopper looks cool, but it's a shitty ride.
It's still great.
Yeah, she wanted those on her Sportster, and I'm like, I'm not going to follow you anywhere if you put those damn things on your Sportster. I was like, my ears will be bleeding, and you'll just be up there, woo-hoo-hoo. I'll be back here riding down the road with my ears plugged.
Yeah, my 1200 was pretty loud, and I had the long Vance and Hines straight
yeah.
shots, and
They're so loud, the Sportsters.
the thing is, like, I had a lot of guys that I would roll up on with that combo that I had, and a lot of them look over me like thinking it was a big bike. It sounded like a big bike, But obviously, not being. And I cannot lie.
I don't know, Goose. Percy told me that my tab was loud.
Yeah, dude, we were following you around in
Yes.
Ryan's Subaru, and that pipe sounds wicked. It sounds awesome.
And guess what? You and
What?
I have the same pipes, so maybe we'll have to lead the pack and just fucking blow everyone out of the water.
Well, if we lose you, we'll at least be able to like stop and listen. We'll be able to hear where you are.
Yeah.
Loud pipes save lives, right?
I tell you what, on the interstate, they did wonders because I was leading me and David, and some people had the tinted windows. You don't know if they're paying attention or not. So every time I'd go by a car I'm just going maybe like 3 or 4 miles an hour quicker than I blip my
Always.
throttle just to let them know I was there because I'm not trusting anybody, especially all the trucks.
What do you guys think about all those wonderful new laws that New York's trying to throw out with motorcycles?
You're gonna have to indulge us into this. I don't know anything about it.
I'm not aware of what you're
Pretty
talking
much.
about.
Pretty much, they passed a law in New York, and if it's not a stock exhaust, it's not legal.
Oh,
That's
wow.
pretty much what they said. Basically, if it's noise level and it's whatever for emissions is not
So not
exactly the same as OEM, they won't pass.
So not even like the SNS California compliant stuff will work anymore.
I won't guarantee if from a noise level it probably won't, because noise was part of that legislation.
So you need the wet fart Harley stock exhaust to be legal in New York. Man.
Yep. There's a lot of different biker groups that are trying to get it.
I'm sure.
repealed.
I wonder if grandfathered bikes are, okay with that.
There was there was an official letter. I saw it on Facebook. If I find it, Dustin, I'll send you a link to the.
Yeah, because that'd be a good discussion on the show.
The official letter from the New York.
Sorry about the delay.
Yeah, Toby, did you
One
have to
hell
go
of a
to the
cocktail
liquor
you
store?
made.
Well, yeah. I had to go to Louisville to get the whiskey.
Oh my god!
There you go. That's a tall boy there.
Oh, I should have filled up my big old glass.
No, I got voluntarily / involuntarily roped in to help with clean up dinner real quick. So,
what was for dinner?
homemade chicken stew.
Ooh, we had BLTs.
That does sound really good.
Yeah, we this time she made the mixture and stuff, the vegetables and all that stuff in one pot, and kept the pasta or the noodles separate in another pot, and did it that way with broth and a little bit of both. And so then when we store any leftovers, it keeps this is coming from her, not me. I don't have this intelligence for cooking, but she says it keeps the noodles from getting all mushy and soggy when you store them like leftovers with the rest of the stuff. So
yeah, I need to get Jackie to make homemade chicken and dumplings again.
I love chicken and dumplings.
She does wonders with chicken and dumplings.
her mom does that. They make some recipe she has from up in like northern Maine or like a half hour from the border, and it's like this dumplings and chicken and dumplings. And my God,
that's a ride I want to do. I want to ride my bike to Maine.
Yes,
I want to go to Bangor where Stephen King lives, and I want to visit a lot of the movie sites that were up there, and I want to eat like a lobster roll.
What you really want to do, and this would actually be funny if you could get it before then, but up in the area where her family is, I mean, look up Fort Kent and see where that is in relation to Canada. It's like literally right on the borders where US 1 starts.
Okay.
And it goes all the way down to Florida.
Uh-huh.
So, but her family, the extended people, live at Fort Kent and Eagle Lake and areas right around that area, which is, like I said, it's within a 30-minute sweep of the Canadian border, and you can't find red hot dogs anywhere else.
Red hot dogs?
Red hot dogs, and they are
Chicago
damn good.
Super Chicago Red Hots here.
I don't think they're Chicago Red Hots. They're just red dogs, they call them, I think. And they're I mean, they're really good. You throw them on a grill and they cook up real nice. But like I said, we can't find them anywhere else.
Made a lobster.
If you want a good dog, try Hillbilly Hot Dogs in West Virginia.
I've
There's
heard
a
of
place.
them.
There's a place in St. Louis called Steve's Hot Dogs. It's one of the members of the band The Urge owns it, and he opened up a couple locations in St. Louis. They're supposed to be good too. They have all different types. Like you can get a Chicago style. I guess there's like they made their own. I'll tell you another good hot dog creation too. There's this place called Iron Barley in St. Louis. It was on Man versus Food, and they made this. It's
Ooh,
called a Monte Cristo dog,
I think
and
I've heard of that.
it's served open face like on a hot dog bun that's like buttered and grilled, and then they cut a Chicago Red Hot in half, fry it on both sides, put it onto the bun. No, actually, while they're frying the hot dog on the grill, they put Swiss cheese on it. And then before they put it on the bun, they put strawberry jam on the bun.
Modelo.
And it's served
Mm.
open. They don't serve it hot dog style. It's like open faced. But the sweet and the savory works, and I don't know how. I even started making them at home. It's just the wonder of the world with food.
Yeah, the thing with Hillbilly Hot Dogs, they make what's known as the home wrecker. It's a foot long. What was it? Is it a 1 pound or 2 pound hot dog? Something like that.
Jesus, that's a lot of meat.
It's and then on top of that, there's like 3 pounds of toppings. And there's actually, if it's one of those deals, if you eat it within a certain amount of time, you get. I took on the home wrecker type t-shirt.
They should serve something like that in Uranus.
I'm about to say,
No, you could get a wiener in Uranus. There's a
Oh God.
there's the
Yes,
ice cream
you can.
But can you get a foot long wiener in
You just
Uranus
got to know where to find them.
Uh,
shop.
with extra sauce?
you got nowhere to go after a while, right?
It reminds me of that. There's this one viral video I saw a few months back where this dude sits down onto this chair next to this girl, and the top of it was like hydraulic, and it drops, and
Yep.
he immediately jumps up, and then you notice that the thing is still sticking. And I'm like, oh, that went straight in.
I could not imagine what that would feel like.
Mm.
I mean,
So Jared, if you all are, how far away are you all from Man of War?
Man of War. I mean,
Harley Davidson, yeah.
yeah, maybe 10 to 20 minutes depending on traffic.
Okay. I mean, there's a place that I'm wanting to go to that I saw in a. So my phone gives me every so often sometimes you have a phone that'll do like the notifications of new places to eat, right? Whatever.
Yep.
And one of them popped up a few months back called. I've got a highlighter here. Let me bring it up. It's called
Is it
Parquet
Double Dogs?
Parquet Drive-In.
Oh,
So it's like it's one of the. There's only I think. It's a 1950s era, like it's like a burger diner type setting. If
I
you're
saw
into that
that.
thing,
As a popular place to go. Honestly, when you drive by, it looks
Oh,
super freaking sketchy.
yeah, that place looks really ghetto.
But I've heard, I saw that too. It was like on one of
Yeah.
these really highly rated restaurants.
yeah, that's
But we
what I've
haven't
heard.
been
That's,
yet.
it was supposedly the
Fish
inside. I
sandwich
don't
that's
know.
really highly rated there.
I don't remember.
They got like a catfish po' boy or something that's like really super highly rated there, something like that.
It was that place and another little place called Maggie's Bakery, which is a little ways away from there. But those two places I've
They are good as well.
see.
We've only been there once. I had a toffee donut, and their freaking toffee frosting stuff that they use on it was amazing.
I don't know. Was I there for that?
Yeah, we had, I think so.
I don't recall that one. I think that might have been before my time. That might have been with your other boyfriend.
I probably went with a friend. If you didn't know, Jared and I have been apart for 2 years. He was in Nebraska while I was here, so things blur together a lot these days.
Yeah, blame it on COVID. Kept us apart. I couldn't
Yeah.
find a job to save my life. I mean, the job market
You were
went to
in Nebraska.
zero.
Speaking of that, I was going to say, I don't know, if Dustin, I don't know how far you mentioned a ride or riding somewhere in May. And I know it's in Nebraska. I don't know how far it is from you, but Frontier Harley Davidson.
Yep,
They're
that's
doing
that's in Brittany's hometown. That's our main dealership.
but they're doing it. They do the Great Plains Moto Meetup is in May at some point. So
I think I was just talking. Tony and whoever wanted to come would stay nearby here, and we just ride around this area.
sure.
Because when we did MMM 2019, Tony and Ryan had to break off early from the ride and go back to the campsite and start the grills. They volunteered to go do that, and they missed like going over the Campsville Ferry and the Hardin Bridge and riding the river from the other direction. So they missed that. So that's something you got to experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's good riding around here. People think we're just a flat state, but Southern Illinois, anything south of Springfield, and especially if you go west, the riding's pretty good.
Yeah,
Then
because
you hit Missouri and
you get into more of that that Missouri country once you get farther west, and then once you push past that nice hilly fun stuff, you get into Kansas and Nebraska, where it's
Kid Moto country.
Let me tell you though,
it's good
Illinois
land speed record country.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Illinois though, your highways suck.
They do.
You got
they're always under construction and they don't fix them.
Yeah.
And there's construction zones in with no construction going
Nobody
on.
working. Yep.
Just cones on the side of the road.
All it does is make people go slower.
There's the secret.
Yeah. Last summer I Cannonball basically ran all the way to Kansas City to meet up with another motovlogger, Chopper Fett, and he gave me a Batwing fairing for my Dyna because he had one he didn't want.
Cool.
He's like, you know, I told him, I was like, I even offered to buy it from him. He's like, nope. He's like, if you want it, come out and get it. It's like, cool. So I cannonballed out there, met up with him for dinner. You know, obviously we exchanged, you know, typical motovlogger stuff, and then
Uranus and fudge packing. No.
Phone numbers, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the few that actually has my real number. So, yeah, and then the next day I stayed at the motel and then I cannonballed back the next day. But
Cool.
Yeah, it was.
That's one thing I always love to hear about. A lot of times is just I don't know. To me, it's what's really cool. It's what makes this that much more fun is meeting people that under your normal circles of life without biking you never would have met and breaking bread with them somewhere. It's just to me, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Not to sound prophetic or anything, just saying.
Well, no, it's 100% true. There's people I've met that if I didn't have a bike, I wouldn't meet otherwise.
If I had never moved to Kentucky, I would have never met any of you.
She wouldn't be a fifth dirty biker.
Yep.
She was a
wouldn't
fan.
have 2 motorcycles. It is like, I know we're getting deep here, but it's
You wouldn't
really
be called
cool to
nappy.
think about that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys were laid it on pretty thick to get her to get that second motorcycle.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
You want to hear some real shit?
Hey, you know, if you're going to Uranus, you might as well get ready for it.
Now that she's got 2 motorcycles, she's all like, we need to save money, buckle down, save for a house.
Buy
I
a
found
legend
a
suspension.
Hell of a deal.
He's blaming me,
on
but
an anniversary edition Super Glide Dyna.
I never said no.
Absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. They're selling it for about 6,000 less than it's supposed to be. And I tell her, I'm like, we should buy this just to resell it. And she's like, no, we're saving for a house. Because she knows me.
Flip the bike.
I'm not gonna flip it. We're gonna put it in the garage and it's gonna stay there.
Yeah,
Might move to the living room, but we're not selling it. But
move it to liver. You got to bring them in where it's warm in the winter, right?
yeah, we're gonna convert our dining room into a diner room.
Dyna room.
Hey, we do have an area like a dining table area. We could just move the table because we never use it anyway.
I was thinking we put some long strip chandeliers that just shine down on the bikes. I think it'd be amazing.
In our rental home.
Yeah, and then put like Harley posters and stuff on the wall, like the history and all this stuff. I think
Dino
it'd
through
be
the
really
ages.
cool.
Yeah.
Make it like a museum, a mini museum.
Step in a room. Okay, there it is. Step out. Next person.
Yeah.
Don't give Tony any ideas. He'll never ride again if he does that. It'll always be pristine, right? He'll have the little barrier going around it.
No, you'll have to get it out like once or twice a year to make sure it still runs properly.
Well, he's got to put gas in it once
Yeah,
once a year.
we'll run something similar to that Wheels Through Time museum down there where everything is.
I want to
display.
see that so bad.
I know.
Yeah,
I was wanting to go, and it was during COVID, so it was when I was kind of down in that way, and so I didn't get to go.
Have you seen some of the recent videos that crazy son of a gun's been posting?
No.
Which ones?
This last one, apparently they had a Harley Davidson powered airplane, and they just got this airplane fired up, and they're like looking to fly this thing. I trust my new
The Wrong Brothers
fuel injected, but I think this thing's got like I don't even know if it's like an old.
That thing's going to go the way of.
It's like really old.
That thing's going to go the way of Hooters Air.
Yeah,
it's really gonna be packing Uranus because your butt cheeks are gonna be clenching pretty tight. Sorry, Toby, I had to.
Fox 2 News. A plane has catapulted into Uranus.
They had it running, and
I mean, you said that, and the first thing I thought. Oh, go ahead, Brittany. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm seriously like, it was a really cool video to watch. I am excited to see if they actually do try to just fly it above the ground, like 4 feet above the ground or something.
Yeah, I forget. I think it's like an F-head engine. I mean, this plane's from like the 1920s, and
so it's real early.
Made this son of a bitch in his garage, so it is wild.
That's got a hold my beer tag written all over it.
No kidding.
Yeah,
that's
moonshine.
That's some back road engineering. Oh.
I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, for $20, will you fly this plane?
Yeah. Wee man come out looking like Olivia. What was her name? Earhart.
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, I don't know. Jared and Brittany, I don't know if you guys saw on the north side of 64 in Missouri, there was like a classic motorcycles headquarters.
Yes, I actually saw that on the way down.
Did you see it?
And
That might be worth
we
a
should
stop.
stop there. And she just right on down the interstate she went.
Apparently I didn't hear him.
Sometimes I get to talking and then she just like.
Here you go, Dustin.
What are we doing? Uh-oh. What's this?
What are you looking at?
Do I need to add that to the stream?
Can you see this?
Hold on. There we go. I've seen this photo.
Well, this
There
is the
we go.
beginning of the video
Yeah,
they're
man.
talking about.
So cool.
That is such a good video.
Okay.
And they get that thing fired up. By the end of this particular video, they fire it up and like it's ready to like take off. And then
Then they cut the video off.
they cut the video. Like they're like, he's like, well, join us for the next one, or we're gonna try and get this
It's like
thing
the old
to fly.
Batman series. They just try to get you
give
to
you
watch
that
the next
tease,
episode.
Join us next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Or come down to the museum.
No kidding.
I mean, they piqued my interest here probably a year or two ago when he found this old mining cart that had a Harley Davidson engine on it, and it was like he's like if this is not a testament to the reliability of these old motorcycles, he's like, this thing's been up and down, who knows how many miles, running wide open in a mine shaft where it's hot and dark and no air. I'm like, God, that's crazy, you know. And then it makes you think like how kind of useless. I'm an engineer, and the same as Brittany, and I see that stuff, and I'm like, God, I don't know anything. I don't know how people design this crap. Like that was just some dude that made that airplane. I was like, I wouldn't even know where to start to make an airplane.
Yeah.
Or make a mine cart, or there was another one. Some guy had that Wheels Through Time. There was a Harley Davidson powered tractor. It's like
That was
people
pretty
think
cool.
of this stuff.
That was pretty cool. I saw that video.
Well, it kind of goes back to, I mean, what you just said. You guys had, Justin, Brittany, you guys had, was it Jet Films on a few months back or whatever it
Mhm.
was?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever watched how that guy makes his videos, it's, I think one of you guys even said after watching one and how he does it, you're like, why do I even try?
Yeah, I quit. I'm glad I wasn't doing YouTube. I wouldn't do it
Oh
anymore.
my
I would
gosh.
have extensive hit skills, but
They hit that Evo button there. What's that one got?
He got recognized by Harley not too long ago too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and I know none of his videos can be monetized because he's putting copywritten music in them.
yeah.
You may not be
So-
concerned with that.
Well, already got permission.
Yeah.
Somebody wants
I've
outside.
got a video. I've even got a video online that's been, I'm not monetized at all yet, but it's already got a strike against it regardless, because the entire video has a song of a song from Brad Paisley. So it's like, I even tried to reach out to his agent, shot him an email or something, said, hey, can I get permission? Let me explain what's going on. And obviously never heard anything back, but
No. You're probably like 1 in a million, you know.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I'm
can
sure.
we use it for this reason? Can we
Yeah.
use it? Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think Brittany's first channel strike she had wasn't even like
It's not a strike though. It's just like a warning. I had like a piece, like 3 words out of a song that you could hear, and it was like, copyright. You better make sure you fix this.
yeah,
thought it
that's
was-
what mine
I
were.
thought-
They weren't strikes; they were warnings. That
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got a
guess
video.
misunderstood
I've
what
got a
that
video I
was.
shared back in 2011 or 12. I was living in Bristow, Virginia at the time, and me and a couple of buddies linked up at a gas station and went riding. I was tail gunner basically, and had the radio turned up. We were just riding, and you can hear the music. And
Yeah.
so you go to that video, and it says you got warnings for these songs. I'm like, damn, you can recognize those songs from this video, and I just don't care. I haven't bothered to go back and do anything with it. So
Those algorithm writers they know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have Google phones, but like
Nope.
no, my brother
Yeah,
does.
well-
I don't.
Brittany,
but
Brittany and I
like,
both have Google phones, and it has a feature where it's like it just listens to whatever's playing in the background. So if you're like sitting around, like, I wonder what this
Tell you what
song is, you can just
Hey,
look
they
at
all
it,
do
it'll say
that.
right
They're
at the
spying
bottom.
on us.
Yeah, I know. Of course they are.
Hey, did you guys watch Percy's video from the last weekend?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, if you get a chance, go check it out. It's only like a 5-minute video.
I didn't
But,
watch it. I lived it.
So,
it was
yeah. I don't need to watch it, Dottie. I lived it.
I was there.
Well, we were like, we got this Airbnb right there on 66. There's a church, and then two numbers over is a Lion's Den Adult Superstore.
Oh,
And a liquor store and a tattoo shop.
there
So
was
the tattoo shop, which I don't know if Dave got film of it or not, but the sign on it said between the lines, and it had a hand like that as the graphic.
that's awesome.
I'm
Some are
surprised it wasn't just like a full shocker up there on the screen.
Yeah, they could. So you had the what was it, the First Presbyterian Church or whatever.
Yeah.
You had this liquor store, which was a cool little liquor store, that they had like cats stuffed on the wall. Not like a house cat, but like I don't know what it was, like a
Bobcat or something.
bobcat, and cool little liquor store. Then you have the tattoo shop, and yeah, right there was what Percy called the jerk off palace. I was like, we should go in there and see what we get for Tony's bike.
oh Lord.
A little suction cup.
If you guys don't,
We
do
weren't
that, I'm
sure
gonna
if we
be
would want to
funny.
get like a
Big purple,
like a big
veiny
one
bastard.
or like a wee little one.
Oh no, you need to get the one from. What was the video game that had the big purple penis back?
I think you're thinking of the movie
Saints Row. Saints Row.
but it was also on the movie Idiocracy. Where did you guys see the movie Idiocracy?
Oh yeah, that's like a favorite movie.
Oh, it's
I'm
like
trying to
Sorority
remember that
Boys.
part.
Did you watch Sorority Boys where they're sword fighting with the big dogs?
Oh,
Nope.
We call those bombs. That's what we call them. Battery operated boyfriends.
Here, go do your shoe dance over here so people can watch. Watch this kid. All right, over here. No, right here.
I get my shoe.
Your shoe.
They always get shy when you finally.
Yeah, they get shy.
Yeah, camera shy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Percy, though, how much money does he have wrapped up in that bike? I mean, he's got a lot of crap done to it,
That's
man.
confidential.
I would not want to see that bill. I would.
If he tells you, if I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
Yeah, he didn't spare any expense.
Except
No.
on
John
the,
from Jurassic
bag
Park.
latches.
I
no expense. Yeah.
I
He
bet
spared
his
expense
Uranus
on the bag latches, guys. Don't let him lie to you.
I love it.
That's awesome, man.
Did you pull something? Hey, do the. What, you just
Oh,
break
man.
stuff. What'd you break? Oh,
I
you
was
come
laughing.
off.
Dad told me to do it.
Can you guys imagine the TV come falling forward and all of a sudden it's just dust the screen goes blank. It says we are experiencing technical difficulties.
Well, my other boy threw a tennis ball at the last TV we had. Put a big old
Famous last
line down
words.
it. Then I turned the TV on and back off. The whole thing was shot.
Oh man.
Good thing they're cheap these days.
Yeah. That's the only thing that's cheap these days.
Cheers. Well, I don't know if Jared Weems was going to pop in here, but he probably got busy. That's okay.
Jared, busy? Really?
Yeah, not at all.
Born free.
Yeah, I hope he has time for you guys to do, to work on your guys' bike. I know that
He will. We just got to time it right. We have to find it, and then he's got. When is Born Free? Is that like in another month?
I think in May,
Okay.
May or June, something like that.
We got to try to get something locked down after that because he's available after that. Then got to make sure blockheads are available. I don't think we really planned on on this bike off till maybe
I
spring
thought y'all were
next
doing it
year.
till later in the year, like at the end
Well,
of summer.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, it'd be good to do it in early fall or something. I'd like to get something with the dealership here to do a drawing because I'm sure they might be able to do something for us, but just have to see. Heck, I'll go out to Florida for it. I don't care.
I'm still a little disappointed you didn't get to choose a Cholo build. I kind of
We wanted. That's what I wanted was
I
to
want
do
to
a
see.
chill.
I want to see something other than a Road King.
Choloed? Well, I mean, they make a lot of the. Just hit
That's
the old
like the
Google.
trend
You'll
right
see
now.
a lot of Cholo machines out there.
There's a lot of them going right now.
Little Sportster Cholo with fishtails.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys strictly stuck on a Sportster?
Yeah, we have to at this point.
Oh, okay.
The logo's
I-
made.
I found some like really cheap Softails that are kind of rough, but I was thinking, I was like, how rough is too rough for something you're just gonna chop up anyway, right?
I tell you, this guy upstate here, he had one for $800. It would have been perfect. Carbureted, I think it was a 93 or a 91. It ran.
Yeah, you showed me that one. That was a beauty.
I can't get a hold of him. He will not answer any of his.
He realized how big of a fool he was for telling you he'd let you have it for $800.
Well, he goes, that's what I paid for it. That's what I'll sell it to you for. I'm like, it's like, if we don't jump on this, I'm gonna go buy it and I'm gonna chop it up.
Yeah, because I found one that was like $1,800 here this last week, and I was like, it's pretty rough. It needs a lot of work, but at the same time, if
If
you
you're
guys
taking
are
it all
planning on
apart,
stripping it all the way down to nothing, I mean, how rough is too rough? It's got a clean title.
Yeah.
It
It's
depends
carbureted.
upon your own skills and what you're willing to have the time to do, money to do, versus have somebody else help you with.
Well, I mean, I ain't got shit for skills. It's going to go to Jared Weems and Blockhead, and they're going to tell you whatever you're going to do with it.
I don't know how much you guys are watching Wings, but
You give it to the pros, and then they take care of it.
he took care of that one engine where he tore it down, and it's like I wouldn't have touched it. It was a rusted. I would have broke everything on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest concern for finding a cheap bike like that is maybe
agree.
not so much the engine, because those Evo motors they're like literally bulletproof,
They're hard to kill.
but
they're also
some guy
gold
being a
too.
real jerk with the transmission and tearing the drivetrain out might be the real thing we got to look out for. Trying to find one.
Well, so we're gonna be busy promoting FDBM and stuff. We'll just have to see what we can come up with, hopefully before July. So I don't care if I got to drive it out to Florida myself or haul it or whatever.
You know, that'd make a pretty epic video to go to halfway across the country and ride it back.
Yeah, dude, pick me up. I'll ride down to Florida with it. That'll be fun.
You got to ride backwards.
No ass to butts, right?
Yeah. Crack to crack. It's the only way I go.
I mean, that's how you do it, especially when you're heading to Uranus,
I mean, I don't know who's riding backwards, but that would be a long trip riding backwards.
Oh, yeah, it would.
So who was telling me that I was chatting with somebody on a live stream, and I guess they said and you all might know this, there's a magazine, freelance, I think he's a bike photographer who rides his motorcycle backwards. He does it in order to get really good shots.
Oh, that was that famous photographer who wrote on the back of somebody's
Or was that
bike.
you guys that said that during your show?
Ryan brought that up.
Does he ride with someone?
Yes.
He doesn't like ride him.
No,
doesn't
he rides on the back reverse
to
get all
I
these
was
good
like, wow,
shots.
that is talent right there.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
No, I've been binging I've been binging the podcasts all week long. So they're kind of blending together, and then with live streams and whatever else. So
didn't you guys see the what Revzilla did when they took that little like Briggs and Stratton bike and
Michael Lichter.
The recreation of the Dumb and Dumber trip.
Yes. Tell me that wasn't epic. Like that.
As soon as that came out, I called one of my best friends from college. I said, "Listen, man, we're established engineers. We have the money and we have the time off." I was like, "Would you be interested in doing this with me?" And he laughed at me. He's like, "No." I was like, "Come on, man." I was like,
I'd do it on a Grom though.
now that takes away the fun of it, right? I mean, that makes it easy. I think what made that video really interesting and fun was like the part where they're like, "Here's what they didn't show you in the movie. They had to change the back tire. They had to change the chain and the sprockets because they wore it out."
Well, what kind of little scooter was that?
It was a homemade little.
It kind of looked like a ruckus.
It was like a homemade little mini bike.
Man.
It was one of those like Stretch Coleman kid, like 5 bikes. And they put a race engine on it. I mean, they did all kinds of stuff, and they stretched it like 8 inches or something. And
yeah, but the tires were still like this big around.
Yeah.
Like little 7 or 8 inch donuts.
There's a guy that works at the McDonald's in Litchfield, the town I work in. He rides his ruckus to work every day, rain or shine, thunderstorm, meteorite. I don't care what it is. He rides that thing.
Those are, and if I'm not mistaken, ruckuses are like Groms, they're no gears, right? It's all just straight throttle.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, I think they got a CVT in them.
yeah.
We call ourselves riders. Man, that guy, he's diehard.
I probably rode today when it snowed this morning. Get in and make them McMuffins.
You got it. If you got to have it, you got to have it.
If you want to talk about a guy though that rides in just ridiculous, and you're going to laugh at his name, but his name on the grams or whatever is Long Haul Paul. I don't know if any of you guys know who that is.
I mean,
he rides for MS, and he's got to deal with Yamaha, so he's always got a different.
Wow.
But he's trying to ride 1,000,000 miles to raise money for MS.
That's good.
And But I mean, this dude, I've watched a bunch of stuff that he's done. So I watched a bunch of stuff he's done. He lives in Connecticut. He rides coast to coast, back and forth in a ridiculous amount of time. There'll be 8-10 inches of snow on the ground on the roads, and he's riding right through it. I mean, that dude is a legend.
Wow.
One of his bikes is in the Barberton Museum.
What kind of motorcycle is he riding on these adventures?
He's, like I said, he's had a couple of different Yamahas. I think he's got a Tenere 700 right now.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, Yamaha's been his big sponsor through most of it, but he's had a couple of different ones.
If I could do that for autism, I would in a minute.
Nonstop. I mean, that dude goes coast to coast in a couple of days. Like, I mean, he's
Wow.
crazy.
A couple of days.
Yeah.
Is he camping out?
Damn.
No, he ain't stopping if he's doing it in 2 days.
He
Damn.
just like he rides until he gets tired and the bike falls over and he slips right there.
I mean, he does. It's crazy.
That is a lot of miles.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him. I think he did like 8,000 miles in a week or something like. Unless
Holy crap!
like it was something ridiculous.
That's
He literally rides, like, if you ever go to an IMS show or any of some of the big ones that Yamaha goes to, he's almost always there. And I've met him personally. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely, will just chat up, and
1K every
he always customizes his bike. Like he'll get custom welded extra tanks that will feed into his main tank so he doesn't have to stop, so he can just ride.
Dude, he must have an ass made out of steel.
Dude,
that is
has to.
insane.
It's crazy.
Jesus Christ!
I was gonna say, I mean, who's trying to be like who? Is he trying to be like Whit Mesa, or is Whit Mesa trying? I'm just kidding.
I love Wit. I enjoy every bit of her content. Like I hope one time I get to meet her. Just
Yeah, I need to see if she's gonna come out to Uranus. She could probably do that in a day.
Speaking of Whit Mesa, has she been trying to find that Harley that she took coast to coast? I mean, I saw a post from her the other day where she was just scouring the internet.
trying,
for
but
that.
I don't know that she ever did. They should have gave that bike to her.
They
Yeah.
should have. Yeah. They give
then
Jason
you wanna
Momoa
talk
a bike
about-
that he spray paints, but this girl goes out and rides
Listen,
the shit
you
out of
guys
that
need to
bike.
chill out about that. If you go back and watch that video again, that is a clear motorcycle swap. It was like a stunt prank that they pulled to like make people like you talk about it and be like, "Oh my god!"
What are we talking about?
Jason Momoa.
About 2 or 3 years ago, Harley Davidson gave motorcycles to like big time movie stars and musicians like Jason Momoa, Ludacris, several other like big time name people. And like the one that stood out the most was Jason Momoa, and it's because he got the bike and it was red, and he's like, "Oh, I like my bike's black," so he like found a can of spray paint, and then he made it look like he spray painted it, and then they do a cut scene, and it is like a gloss black, perfect paint job. Looks, and all the comments under were like, "This motherfucker, he doesn't even like motorcycles. He's such a piece of shit. What a spoiled bastard. He gets fucking..." It was just on and on and on and on. And I think for the motor company, it worked because the amount of people that talked about it was just enormous. I think like they say, any press is good press, right? So
Yeah.
I think it worked out for them, but everyone else is just really mad that he supposedly did this. But if you like go back and watch it again in like 4K, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's a different motorcycle." It's because it's like really nicely painted. It looks beautiful. Because I was one of those people that was like, "This motherfucker." And then I watched it after the podcast. I listened to you guys, the Five Dirty Bikers, where Tony was getting all revved up about it in one episode. I went back. and
Oh,
listened
he
to
was
it.
pissed.
Oh yeah, he was so revved up.
Yeah, I won't lie. I was right up there with a lot of them. I was like, oh my god, that was.
It worked.
You saw the
based
spray.
upon-
You saw the spray paint come out. You're not looking at the screen much after that. You're just too
Yeah, I
busy
mean,
throwing
you're
shit up
just-
against the
You're
wall.
seeing red. You're just like your eyes start vibrating. You're like, "This fucking guy."
Oh my! I would, yeah.
Man,
Yeah, Tony got the twitch, and he probably broke something, or
Wow,
Yeah.
based upon what you guys are saying, I think I'm glad I didn't see it. I don't.
Literally, what they did is they literally delivered a crate to all these guys' all these people's houses, and they literally like popped open a crate, which is funny because like I said, I work in transportation. The company I work for used to be the delivery agent for Harley Davidson. We used to deliver. I was a dispatcher. I actually handled the Harley Davidson account, which was kind of cool, but kind of sucked being on YouTube because there were
Yeah.
things I could not say because I have an NDA
Ones, man.
over it. In fact, I'm holding on a piece of information that if I can ever figure out how long my NDA, because there wasn't exactly a date involved in it, there's something I want to release really, really bad, but I can't. Like I'm horrified that I'm going to get sued over it.
Mm.
But they were breaking the crates out. You said.
Oh, those are not what they ship them in at all. That was that. I
My
could
favorite
say that
one
was
of all
totally
those-
fabricated.
I think my favorite one of all those videos though was like the ludicrous one because he had that Road King and he's like standing there, like, woo, just like doing a burnout with it. It was really awesome.
I'm not against ape hangers, but man, the guys that have ones that are like this, I can't understand that.
Mm-mm.
Well, it's illegal in some states.
Some states.
Oh, and I did send you, Dustin, a link to.
I saw it in the private chat. Yeah, I'll check that
Oh,
out.
well, that's long haul, Paul. But the thing we were talking about, the exhaust on motorcycles.
Oh yeah.
I you on Instagram for that.
Oh good. Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
So-
That'd be a good.
It'd absolutely be a good talk.
Excuse me.
Rona.
There you go. Why? There you go, Travis.
Yeah, but I kind of fall into this weird category of I live in one state. We obviously did work in multiple states for them. My corporate's out of Houston, Texas. In fact, the company I work for is owned by the same guy that owns the Houston Astros, if that tells you the kind of money this dude has.
Oprah money.
Yeah.
Tony Cox
Yep.
money.
Yeah, bury you in the ground. Yeah, Tony.
Well, what you were describing earlier might have been Percy. Might have been Percy money.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I gotta point this out too. I almost laughed because Tony went on vacation with his family when we all went out to Missouri. The first photo he sends is him cooking on vacation, and I'm like, dude,
Who cooks
if,
on
if
vacation?
I'm on vacation, people cook for me. I don't touch a grill. I don't touch a stove or a microwave. I get served.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
He
last
went out there, he got suckered into ribs probably and pork butt. and all.
Yeah, we like when we went to Disney World, we like I don't think we ate out every night, but we bought like, sandwich meat, things you could throw together real quick on your
Sure,
own. Nobody cooked for anybody.
No, I mean, when we went to Florida last year, they had grills out there, down by the water, or whatever, where you could cook for yourself. I was like, man, we
Yeah.
gotta find a good butcher nearby and just throw some steaks on there. But I was like, no, let's not do that. I don't want to work. Let's just go down to Bubba Gump Shrimp and get some surf and turf and come back.
Oh man, we went. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. We went to Florida and we tried to go to Bubba Gump. Well, we didn't go into Bubba Gump Shrimp. We waited 3 hours in line.
Holy God.
Yeah,
Was it worth it?
not really.
I mean, I've never been to one and I've heard nothing but good, I guess mixed reviews, I guess I would say, but because of the
unfortunately,
namesake, you'd want to kind of go to just one,
and that was kind of our thing. We picked the worst time. It was right on the cusp of spring break and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a nightmare. So that had a lot to do with it. And obviously COVID, they were short staff, and
Yeah.
like I said, it was horrible as far as the service. But I mean, the food wasn't bad. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Oh, we thought it was good. I mean, I went down to the restaurant, ordered it at the bar, had a drink or two, and then got it to go and brought it back to our condo. And we thought it was good. Didn't have a problem with it. But it was cool because they had some of the memorabilia from the movie, like Little Forrest when he had his braces on.
Yeah.
And that blue polo and the shirt, all that was hanging up on the wall, and it was authentic. And his Alabama football jersey I did ask the waitress, like, are these the real ones? They're like, yeah, those are the ones from the movie. It's like, that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of that stuff they rotate between different restaurants.
Yeah.
During the
That's
time,
what they said. Yeah.
The suit he was wearing, or the outfit he was wearing when he met was it President Kennedy or something in that one scene?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that there, but yeah, that was probably the coolest part of seeing all the, there was some behind the scenes stuff, pictures and stuff that they had on the walls. And,
Yeah.
that was I'm a big food, I'm a foodie. When I travel, I travel to eat and to experience different, flavors of. Some people do it for the beer. I do it for the food. That's just me. I don't know how you guys do.
It works.
I do it all.
That beer and food.
Hey, I don't. If it's just me, I don't know. But you guys are real quiet.
Turn up your
Over here?
volume.
Yeah, Brittany and them.
Is it better? I turned him down because he was like showing
What?
red.
Come on, what the heck?
You're loud. I had to turn you down.
Just because I have
Hey,
a big
if you
mouth
guys,
doesn't mean
if you
can
two need
silence
to
me.
if you two need to do this real quick, and then come back and solve that.
This is our whole
Jared,
thing,
I have a
Toby.
black
All
eye.
we do is bicker with each other.
If you need to perform Will Smith, you're good.
We're preparing.
Oh.
Listen, Will Smith there.
He brought
We're
in Will
preparing
Smith.
for 40 years down the road.
If any Will Smith actions performed over here, Brittany will be the one getting banned from the Oscars. That's what all I'm going to say. Because you're going to be the one throwing out the smacks. You're the
Yeah, Will Smith just got banned
there
from
it
the
is.
Oscars.
There it is,
for,
right there.
Throwing the smackdown.
Anyway,
I've watched that footage and I swear it looks staged. It really does.
It does, doesn't it? That's what I thought the first time I saw it.
Yeah, but so my big question back is like, why would you stage something like that? I mean,
because the Oscars suck.
it sucks, but what does Will Smith have to gain from this? Because Will Smith is now banned from the Oscars and all other award ceremonies.
He's losing a bunch of different shows that he was in the middle
He's
of.
being kicked off of projects. He's losing probably tens of millions of dollars now.
Oh, if not more. I don't know that I wouldn't say it's staged, but there is that speculation because I'm one of those people that like I was honestly expecting big media to like completely within a week or two of it happening to completely like censor it, block it out. I know it brings up ratings and all that, but because of the violence and the sensitivity of today, I was expecting that. So I screen recorded the whole thing and some other parts of it as well. And I was sitting there, rewind, play, slow, rewind, play. I wanted to see if there was actually any contact. I mean, It's too blurry. And that little spot.
The first time that I saw it, I really did. At first, I was like, "This is a joke, right?"
So did everybody else.
Did look like a joke at first.
It does.
The audience thought it was staged. The audience said they thought they were.
But then he started screaming, and I was like, "Okay."
That's when
the second F-bomb, I was like, "Okay, this guy got real."
Yeah. No, everybody else said they thought.
What did he get real about? Because if you watch it at the beginning of that clip is like he's laughing. He's
laughing his ass off.
Jada's bald. This is the funniest joke I've ever heard. And then he looks over at her, or
and she looks at him, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
He's throwing down the hands.
That was crazy.
And I agree with you. I really thought that this would kind of really blow over, but it's got to be real.
Ricky Gervais laid into all Hollywood last year, and nobody went up to the stage and tried smacking him around.
Yeah, and I think that's just that community, the comedian community.
You put a comedian up on the stage, what
do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ricky Gervais actually made a comment on that. I don't know if it's real or not. I saw it on the internet. He said, "I wouldn't have made a comment about her hair. I would have made a comment about her boyfriend."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The memes or the picture, the things I've seen people share that show
motorcycle memes even.
Oh, I did one.
Oh my god! Well, You guys posted one on the FDB page that was
Yeah.
gold. It was people who keep their bike dirty, and then it was Tony's like smacking them in the face. Like, keep your shit tight.
I loved it. I was
The Cox man slappeth.
you need to find a way to put Tony's face.
No, I would. There's an Instagram chat that I'm in with like Two Wheels Down and some other people. Some of the stuff was in there. I'd offer to share it here, but you'd have to like change the rating of your broadcast.
Dude, I don't care.
Oh no, I just say it's like showing like superimposed faces over hotel room bodies, saying Will Smith sitting in the corner watching Jada and August or whatever his name is after the awards ceremony.
Jesus.
And I guess for me, like, yeah, I mean, some of the jokes were a little on what I'd call taste, but I grew up watching, Sam Kensington and
exactly.
I watched George Carlin here recently, and oh my God, I was like, man, was George was about 10 years too early, as far as his last content. But I have a horrible sense of humor. Like, I've been that guy that's been accused of being an asshole because I'm laughing about something that I think is funny, but most people don't,
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy world that we live in these days, and definitely not biker friendly.
People are too PC because comedians. I'm sorry, but that's that comedian's job when they're hosting Oscars, Academies, whatever the case might be. Sometimes they're required to be on script. Sometimes they're required to go off script. I mean, you can't take anything they say personal. That's the whole point of it being a comedian.
Yeah, I think they're there to make it fun. They're actually there to draw the eyes and attention, because the only fun thing about watching the Oscars is to see what jokes are going to be cracked about all these bazillionaires out there.
Yeah.
I mean, why do we all watch, the roast of whoever?
Right.
And
I mean, I hate to say this from this perspective, and I just now thought of this, but if you think about it, it's like if you're about to do a public speaking thing. How many of us like to do public speaking? Right? Exactly. So actors and actresses, whether their credibility, their clout, their monetization, if you will, goes up when they win these awards.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can imagine they're not calloused. Deep down inside, they're all really hoping they win this stuff too. So, like what Jared is saying, that they're there and that kind of helps loosen the mood. Okay. I can't believe I'm trying to say this in a way of empathy for actors and actresses, but just from the perspective of nervousness for that kind of thing, hoping what's that?
I said the Oscars, other than the comedic bits, are so boring. It's
absolutely. I mean, I get half of them are probably thinking the same thing. Why do I got to come to this thing? Can't you just mail me the award if I?
Yeah.
Well, it's sad. How many times if you've ever watched it, you go, Best Picture is what? Like,
yeah,
never even heard.
You might have seen or even heard. So remember the previews of one out of say 5 of those that are up for nomination.
Yeah.
Number one movie of that year or previous year doesn't even get nominated for anything. It's like, you should be not number one movie and not get something.
Oh, you guys should have seen. So at our Airbnb, I got this little bedroom, to myself. It had like a twin bed in it, and up on a shelf is this guy. I wanted to take it home.
Oh man,
it's like a drink mug. Or something. It's got
awesome.
It's got a straw.
We were just watching the 2 Jumanji movies earlier this week. That's awesome.
He was actually on. He was right before WrestleMania. He was on In the Ring with Stone Cold and
Pat McAfee,
Hulk.
Hulk. Okay, Lou Ferrigno.
So yeah, I'm an old school, like, especially back in the Attitude Era, man. That was wrestling back in that day.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Damn sinuses.
You're
I know
good.
I've been fighting something the last couple of weeks.
Just sorry, I just saw his title.
But he's gone. It's Jared time.
Peanut butter Jared time. Peanut butter Jared.
We went
Where it at? Where
Good
it at?
twist on that. Cheers
went
to
to-
that.
we went
Cheers
to
to
Jared.
that.
Yay.
Welcome to the boys club.
Oh, I changed it to Brittany's gone. It's Jared's time.
Now this is where the Will Smith SmackDown begins.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's rate the smack. 2 points.
2 points. Yeah, it was fake. That one was definitely staged. No
Yeah.
questions about it.
You know, I put my
Oh, what a good
Dogs.
boy.
he's like, play
They're
with
so
me.
spoiled, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
Yeah. Look at this one.
Yeah.
70 pounds.
Oh, she's picking it
Put
up.
that down before you pull something.
Being carried around like a sack of feed.
Break your anus.
Man.
Put that down, bro.
Put that down.
That dog's got a haircut like Prince. Yeah, look at the hair.
No Jerry girl needed.
Look at that
What
dog.
medications? Is the dog on any medications? Any drugs?
Just
Yeah.
Satan. That dog's
Yeah,
on
allergy
Satan.
meds.
That dog's evil.
We feed her a dose of peanut butter and Allegra.
We used
Not Allegra, a leg, like a human leg. That
Yeah,
dog-
yeah.
she
The
just
demon
showed him-
dog.
He just showed him it's Uranus.
It's black.
Mm.
Oh,
That's the new song, right? Put Uranus on my shoulder.
Yeah. Put your starfish on my shoulder.
Have you
oh,
shared, Dustin? Have you shared with the world the stickers, the design?
Yeah,
for
they've been
Uranus?
on IG.
Okay,
They're in the other room, and that's far.
that's fine. I was just gonna say they're solid gold. They're beautiful. That
They're
lady
they're
at
shimmering.
Uranus really appreciated the starfish pattern. She was like,
Oh.
"Oh,
So they have a
Oh,
like
God.
a freak show museum
oh yeah."
in Uranus, right? So me and David walked in first, and we just looked around. You know, they had like a little magic shop store.
Midgets and
And-
mules.
What's that?
The freak show, midgets and mules.
We didn't go in the door, but I think we might have to next time. But the lady that was running the shop, her name's Kat, nice lady. She's tattooed like a cheetah, like she's got the spots all over her like,
Okay.
face.
So we're talking Hunger Games now.
Yeah. Well, you know, we came in, we introduced ourselves. We said what's going on and all that. She was interested. She took photos with us and kind of gave us the ins and outs of the lot and everything that goes on there. And she's like, yeah, it's like you guys coming here. That's awesome. She's like, excited for you and everything. And she kept following Percy around like a little lost puppy. I think she liked him. But no, they had you could get, like, it was like $15 and you could go, I don't know if it was $15, maybe it was like $10, but you could go through this little museum they have in the back. So it takes like 15 minutes to get through, but they had I guess it was just like a Ripley's Believe It or Not type thing, you know. Might be worth checking out next time we go.
So, I actually wanted to ask you this, but I kept forgetting to. It's because I saw her chasing Percy around like a lost puppy. But then I walked by that shop and it says like, whatever wonders of the world. It said like a cheetah woman, amazing sword swallower person, all these other things. And I was curious, is that all that lady that does all those different attractions? Is it
Well,
just
she
the bearded
she-
lady, the cheetah woman, the sword swallower?
Well,
she does all this stuff herself.
She said when we come out again in July that she should be swallowing swords again by then.
So my question has been, and I was thinking about this
Swallowing
when I saw
swords
that.
in Uranus.
Why is she not swallowing swords right now?
Probably gotta heal up that
Yes.
that
It's
throat.
rough.
I
It's
would-
rough on the throat.
I was about to
Uranus.
say, Travis, I thought you were going to go what Jared said, the Uranus route. All this freak shop stuff in Uranus. That's just
Yeah,
there's
when
so many roads you can go down that way.
and they're all shitty.
They all lead to Uranus.
Yeah, beat me to it.
It was a little muddy out there. They had some rain, so they had this sign. Let me see if I can get this to focus right or not. It's too bright.
I see it.
I'm trying
It
to
wasn't
get it
bad.
to where you can read it. Hold on. It's the best cavity
not the right
search
screen.
best cavity search in town.
Yeah.
It's a tooth. To set up an appointment, text probe to 855-596-2084. Uranus Dental and Proctology Clinic.
Oh my god.
Your pants will
That-
definitely be undone in Uranus.
They also have the Uranus Zoo, which is just a bunch of, it's like a big plywood wall, you know, and it's got animals painted on it. You know how you stick your face through the hole and take a picture? It's through all the animals' assholes. So you're like in a giraffe's ass, an elephant's ass,
I
Yeah,
thought
I-
you were going to say it's a bunch of walls of glory holes.
It pretty much is.
basically.
There's no glory in those holes. Let me tell you.
That depends.
no-
That depends on which side of the hole you're on.
I commented on that video because I was like, I was like, you need to recreate the scene from Pet Detective, and somebody, I don't know if it was you or if it was Ryan that commented back and said, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh yeah. Well, David stuck his head in that elephant's ass, and then if you look up, there's that giraffe just with its tongue out about 6 inches from his head. I'm like, that giraffe's getting himself.
Oh,
my
shoot.
god.
I guess that puts a new meaning to ass to face, right?
So I wanted to get a photo of all 5 of us in that thing. We'll have to do that in July.
That's got to be the new group page photo. Like
Yep.
it's got to be.
Yep.
Only in Uranus.
Invading Uranus, one biker at a time.
Oh, that, you know what though? That's what I love about you guys' podcast, because you guys, you make fun of each other, you have a good time, and you know you guys don't take anything too seriously in that
No,
respect. And
no,
You don't
can't.
slap anybody.
No, Tony's threatened to slap the shit out of some of us, but he's too far.
I also still say that a prize needs to be a Tony spit shine. Okay, you need to have let Tony go bonkers.
Cleanest motorcycle.
Yeah, well, no, take the dirtiest motorcycle and make Tony clean it.
Oh.
That needs to be a prize. A
Yeah,
Tony.
but how would that has to be like a raffle? I mean,
Oh yeah.
or something. Because I mean, people will just be covering their stuff in shit. You know what I mean? Just to watch Tony clean it, you know.
Oh, that'd be the best part. We'll watch the behind the scenes video after the video of him cleaning the shit off the bike.
This
Tony,
can't make the
Speedo,
podcast.
and then-
Tony and his Daisy Dukes just getting after it.
Oh my lord!
Gotta really get in there and clean that chain.
That's a nice- Keep that. You can have that wonderful mental picture just for free.
Yeah.
It's,
You off
it's
the podcast if you want.
as short as you guys all say is. I mean, I've never actually seen like a whole shot of Tony.
He's short.
5'6", maybe.
That was the thing for me when the first time, because I'm one of the lucky people who can say that I've seen Blockhead without the helmet,
Yeah, we have to. Yeah.
and he looks like he could have been a character in Lord of the Rings. Like,
We tell everybody looks like George Clooney.
Oh my lord!
That's not accurate.
But yeah, it was so funny because it's actually kind of interesting because the first time I met him, it was the first time I met Josh, or Shade Tree Surgeon. They'd come to Columbus, Ohio. They went to the AIM Expo that was going on. And interesting enough, the same event that they were doing, that I met them, was the same event Her Two Wheels, if you guys know who that is,
Yeah.
she was at that same event. So technically,
That was
that's been a couple years now.
was
but
that
yeah.
was that the year that she got started YouTubing?
Yes, that was the year she started YouTube. It was right after. It was not long after that event. But the funny thing is that when we did the ride, and if anybody hasn't seen the ride videos from that, it's hilarious. Literally, there's video of we were all doing this big group ride going to the convention center, and this like a car lost its tire, and literally it's bouncing across the highway in front of riders. Like,
oh no,
it was nuts. And we had we probably had 70 Groms there that day. It was straight up Grom squad. They obviously didn't take the same route we did because we hit the highway and they took the back roads.
Yeah.
But yeah, once we got to the AIM Expo and me and the buddy was walking in, and obviously Blockhead's voices, if you watch his videos, it's unmistakable. And I turn around and he's probably about 15 feet behind me without the helmet on. And I look over and I'm kind of like, like I said, my first thought was like, he could have been in Lord of the Rings. That was my first thought because of the beard and all that. But yeah, Josh is another one of those, like he looks bigger on camera than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does on YouTube. He looks like a giant.
He looks like he's 6 foot tall, but he's not.
Yeah,
not by a long shot.
Shade Tree is not 6 foot tall.
No, he's. I want to say. Well, I actually have a picture. He's a little bit shorter than I am, and I'm 5'9".
Really?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
right between 5'9", 5'10", and he's a little bit shorter than me. Not a lot, a little bit. So I'd say he's like 5'7" ish.
Wow.
It probably depends on what boots he's wearing.
Sure.
But,
Yeah. So here you go, Travis. I'll share another screen if Dustin can share this.
Yeah, I can do it. Pop it up there.
But like I said, I've also met Chopper Fett and Mr. McStash.
There
So
he
I'm
is.
just so you know, I'm 5'11" ish
There's
Okay.
Tony.
for Tony. So he's like
Maybe
wife is
5'7".
Yeah, I was gonna say my wife is 5'7". So
Let me tell you something about Tony. He's a great guy, and he doesn't seem that short in person, but he's all torso. There's not a lot of legs.
this is true.
He's even said he's got alligator arms.
But yeah, Mr. McStash or Jason, if you know him personally, he lives like 15 minutes from where I do. We've
Okay, yeah.
I've been to his house. He's been to my house. Him and his wife are just great people to hang out with. We went out to dinner several times with him. He invited. I went to his birthday party that was here recently. As far as like down home, average great people.
Yeah.
He's it. I mean,
yeah. Him and Angela, I believe, are incredible. We met it. I met Jason at the Bluegrass because they happened to be riding through, and Bluegrass hooked him up with some stuff in the service department very easily. I think it was just changing his highway pegs or adjusting his highway pegs or something. And then we met him up at VAM up there in Tazewell, and just great times all around.
Yeah, he actually, I guess he just got back his what he calls ultra classy.
Ultra classy, yeah.
It's a crazy story with that bike. He had a whole bunch of work done to it on the top end, and him and his wife took it on their annual big trip, and apparently the primary chain broke, and it pretty much wiped the motor. It messed up the cams, it messed up the bearings.
Oh my God.
And he had, I don't even want to begin to know how much money he had in that top end.
Oh yeah.
And then basically had to start all over. The bad part was where they were in Arkansas somewhere. And he turned around and he ended up buying another bike. So he ended up getting a 2015. Beautiful bike, but man, that's a hell of a win.
Was not in his plan.
Yeah, that's not the preferred way to get a new motorcycle. Yeah.
No, and they still towed that one back, and then had the shop rebuild it.
So
Hmm.
what let loose in there? Just a chain link broke.
The
And it
the
balled
primary.
up and
Yep, it tore everything up. It messed up the
Oh,
crank.
gosh.
It messed up all the cams. Yeah, it really had some damage.
Oh boy. Well, we've been at this well over 2 hours. Said if you
we're just getting started, right?
Hey, oh god, dude.
Good stuff.
You ever watch J Money on YouTube, man? That dude, he'll be up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing shots, chugging beers, and like that dude's nuts.
Yeah, me and Pro Monkey did one. This was back in January, February timeframe, I think. It was where the wife was not home, and so he was by himself.
Nothing better to do.
Yeah, we were on that thing for 6.5 hours.
Oh geez.
Yeah, it was just throwing back, talking and whatever. I had stuff to do the next morning, so I didn't throw back that many, or at least I kept it balanced with water.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was. Yeah, it's good times.
So money, no object. What would you buy today?
You know,
Am I allowed?
I
to buy
like
more
the
than
bike
one
I
thing?
have. I'd probably do more to the bike I have, but
KRGT1.
well, you didn't waste any time with that one, did you?
No.
What's that?
That's Keanu Reeves' company's bike.
It's hard to,
It's not.
Arch.
What's the name of theirs? It's not KRGT though. They've actually got I've been on their websites looking at their bikes before. I'm trying to remember what the damn name. They have like I'll look it up while you guys are saying this.
Well, no, it's the KRGT1.
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves, because it stands for
they're
Keanu
badass
Reeves.
looking bikes though.
they
Well,
are.
they have a SNS 124 in them, and they're custom made
Yeah,
for the person. Like the seats custom made for
yep.
them. Everything. Yeah, suspension is top of. I don't know if it's Olin's or if they put Legend on them.
Arc motorcycle.
Okay.
Is it Arc or Arch?
Arch. Yeah, ARCH motorcycles.
That's Arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are beautiful bikes.
Yeah, they are incredible from what I saw. They're beautiful.
That's my no money is no object bike.
I think I would go old school. Like I think I'd even go like World War II old school.
Yeah, I don't. That's a really tough question because I want a lot of like cheap bikes. I just want a collection of stuff. I really like Sportster 72s, like the sparkly ones. I told Brittany if I had the $1 million, I'd probably buy like all the hard candy custom ones of that, just to have them. And then just like I really like the motorcycle I have now. I think I would just buy another one and just keep it perfect. It's dumb, but I really like the motorcycle I have now. I personally think it's beautiful. But
Yeah, I'm the
beyond
same
that,
way.
Yeah.
I don't like. I see these like crazy Hayabusas and all this stuff. I mean, if I was 10 years younger, I'd be like, yeah, Suzuki Hayabusa with twin turbos or something. But now
I'd kill myself.
I don't.
That's my problem. I
I have
growing
bad
up.
back too.
Yeah, but I had like
Now-
RX-7 back in the day, so I got my speed out in the car thing.
Yep. Now I'm like I'll have an adventure bike, a cheap adventure bike, maybe a fun little sporty. I don't know, some sort of Dyna. Keep the one I got. I'm not terribly picky anymore. I like what I got, and I feel like I'm gonna be one of these old guys like, yeah, these new bikes are shit.
Well, we're about to find out what this new Sportster looks like on Tuesday, and
Oh, it is Tuesday, isn't it? That's right.
yeah,
I'm gonna try something here. Bear with me.
I'm optimistic, but I'm also kind of thinking that all we're gonna get is the 975.
I think it's gonna have a classic. It's gonna be a classic looking Sportster like an 883, but it's gonna have that engine, that RevMax engine in it.
I just wish, I hope that they offer at some point a 1270 or 1250.
Have you guys ridden a bike with that new 1200 plus cc on there?
I've ridden the Pan America. I have not ridden the Sportster yet.
Yeah, I haven't ridden the Sports either, but if it's anything like that, the Pan Am, man, that thing probably absolutely rips.
Same
That thing's
engine.
so fast.
Yeah, I mean, Ty from Tennessee went out and got one. So
Yeah, that's right.
Ty Cooper, if you watch, he's done a lot of videos on it already. So
I think
he
they
loves
changed
it.
I think they changed the cams a little bit for the Sportster versus
That's what
the
they
Pan
said.
Am, but
Yeah,
because like the Pan Am's a little gruntier down low than
Yeah.
maybe the Sportster is, but man, that thing, God, it rips. It's so fast.
I mean, it must be working because didn't they? I mean, you all would probably know better than me, but didn't they really kind of? I mean, you saw the reveal when they revealed it. It's mainly geared towards trying to get back into the European market, right? Into the
Yep.
So I mean, it seems to be very popular over there. It seems to make a pretty good splash from what I've heard.
And not even just so much, I would say, European market. I mean, it is a lot of bang for your buck
Yeah.
compared to strictly a road cruiser. I mean, it's a cruiser in itself, but it can go on and off road.
Yeah.
We were cruising around Uranus here this last weekend, and I saw a gravel road, and I was like, "Man,
Were
that
you
looks like
doing
fun.
like
I
circular
wonder
or
where
just
that
straight
goes."
We did a loop.
We
A
were
loop?
tickling around. We were tickling around the edge. Yeah. And you know what I thought is if I had a Pan Am, I could plunge right up in there, just go straight in. And it would have the tires to allow you to get right through that deep mud and get right back out of there.
No hole's gonna stop me from ripping through there.
No hole's gonna stop me.
No holds barred.
If you high throttle it, if you do a high throttle, maybe you can get a Hummer going. You know.
Yeah, you get them rooster tails come back around and get you.
Right in the face, right?
Yep.
Oh,
But no, we were riding around and I saw some gravel roads that kind of looked like they went down along a river, and I mean, I was
Going
man,
back
that would
deep.
be really cool just to have a motorcycle that could just
Yeah.
beeline off there and go see where that goes, even if it just goes like a boat dock. That's
But Dustin highlighted it earlier. That Metric Live brought up a good point. I think that's something that they heavily considered also because I mean, y'all know that they dramatically changed everything about the bike. I mean, they almost took it away. I mean, to me, if I was a brand new person, like brand new to bikes, I would almost relate the Sportster now to a little bit towards the crotch rocket side.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has a similar streamlined effect to it. It doesn't have the same
Performance a little,
classic
yeah.
look that the old Sporties do.
yeah. Was it the FXD that Blockhead had? To me, it seems like it's more of that.
FXDR.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
That it seems like the Sportster S is more of that style.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
book. And I wasn't never a fan of that.
That's one of the few bikes I test rode, and I absolutely hated it. It was uncomfortable.
Which one? The FXDR?
Yes.
I don't know why they don't do the Bronx. Like
That's
Everyone-
what I wanted to see.
They're supposed to be, from what I've heard, from what we hear about it. I mean,
That was the Street Fighter looking one.
yeah.
yeah.
It was basically like a naked street bike version with that
Yeah.
motor. I heard through the grapevine. Heard through the grapevine that somebody at the top didn't like the bike and pretty much axed it.
Well, I mean, that's what they did with Zeitz said. I mean, because with the previous CEO, they were coming out with 15 more bike lines they were talking about, models they were talking about doing. And when he got there, he's like, they scrapped all that crap.
Yep.
So
One, because of COVID, and two,
Right.
because
They were losing their
99% of
direction.
Sales, 99% of sales is this little.
a lot of
sliver.
people, a lot of their base were saying, you're forgetting your baseline. You're trying to, you're losing your base. You're losing your focus of what you are. But I mean, he's doing a good job. But
I mean, they
sorry,
gotta
I'm
do
reading what the
something
Metric Life said.
I was just saying that they got to do something because like their base is now buying trikes and stuff. Like I hate to say it, but like those guys are dying. I mean,
Yeah, well, we know that.
they got to do maybe not like a drastic change, but they got to do something different. Just
So
be
let me
a
ask you
little
this,
bit
and,
at a time.
I hate to sound rude on this. If I am, I am. But I'll just take the bullet on it. But Dustin, how old are you?
40.
Travis?
40.
Okay, so I'm 48. So I'm probably the oldest one amongst us, I'm guessing, because unless you're like
32.
seriously aging well, then you're
Young and
32.
So that's what I'm saying is we're, all of us are basically kind of transitioning up to that middle age / we're becoming that new baseline, if you will, for Harley. So they have to appeal to Jared and younger, and that's what that Sportster does. That new sporty model does. And the Bronx.
Being on that younger side, I would say that none of older side around that 30 mark.
Yeah.
I would say if I was 30 when I bought my Road King, maybe a few years back, I probably wouldn't even looked at a Road King. If the Pan Am was available, that is what I'd be riding today.
Plus,
that
remember, you
so
said it to yourself, your knowledge base, I don't know what your knowledge base is, but you even alluded earlier to saying you like the 72s. I mean, if you're 18 to 25 right now, unless you are growing up around motorcycles or just have an avid passion for them, you're not doing that research or being around that clique and don't know what all that is. So you're just looking at the next badass looking cafe racer that comes out on the showroom floor.
Well, I think a lot of people in like my age range, they look at motorcycles as it's either a toy or it's like a viable mode of transportation.
Right. That's I'm about to say a commuter bike, a cafe bike type thing where they can go around.
So I personally, I drive 30 miles a day. A 72 would not get me to work and back. So that's a toy at that point. So
after about a month, you'd have back problems.
and so if it came to that, that's just a no buy. That's never buy.
Right.
But if you looked at like a Pan Am as a practical, hey, I could ride this, I could travel with this,
because they are comfortable.
Yada yada yada. And they're probably the most comfortable Harley I've ever ridden. To be honest with you, I mean, I hit some bumps. I took it some places I wasn't supposed to on the test ride, particularly. I may have done some wheelies with it.
I got back and they asked me, "You were only supposed to be gone for so long."
It's amazing motorcycle. I told Brittany, I was like, I think I should buy this motorcycle.
I think as far as the Pan America, I think they hit it out of the park.
I do too. I think
I would have loved to have been maybe just a couple of grand cheaper, but it was right where we kind of all expect it to be.
Yeah. I think personally, I think they nailed it with the price of where it was announced. I think it just came with a few too many features. So I would say, like, if you bought the $20,000 bike, I think it should have came with bags. Now, the ABS model should have came loaded, but like the $17,000 bike, stripped down, no ABS, all that jazz. That's perfect. There's probably a million people out there looking for that bike right there.
But the problem is hardly no dealers sold them at MSRP. That, like, I saw one at $3,500 over MSRP with no add-ons.
Yep. And then that's just kind of the world we live in right now. I mean, it's a supply and demand, and demand
but
is
I think
high,
they did. I think you're right, though. I think they did hit it out the park with that. A lot of people were. I even said. I think even if you guys Dustin had it on, you were talking about it with a prior dirty biker about how it was functioning or how it was working, and the biggest question that a lot of people were saying was, give it 6 months, give it a year after it's been out, to let people hit the off roads and see how well the thing stacks up on off. And I've heard nothing but positive about it. I mean,
the only thing I think there's that one pipe that likes to burst off the radiator.
Yeah. And then the biggest complaint back against that is parts back order. Because I don't.
Well, yeah, and that's
upset because it's from what I've seen about your pipe burst thing that you said, it's people lay them down and it's just kind of, and it cracks, and then like, oh well, I hit this thing and it broke. If I buy the cage, it'll never happen again. Or if I get the new radiator, the redesigned radiator, it won't happen again either. But you can't get a hold of the radiator; it's on super
Yeah.
back order. So if you down your bike, you're out of service for a while. And
But
And I think from what I've heard, the trends are showing that working in an automotive chain in a similar industry, that we're starting to see things slow down a little bit. So the
Yeah.
supply is catching back up. I think by midsummer, we should be close to where we were pre-pandemic, because
Man,
things
I
are
hope you're
catching
I
right.
think
up.
I've heard that too.
So
But
I
I
hope
will
it's
say, I'll
true. I
tell
hope
you,
it's true.
unlike past iterations or past models, whatever, I got to commend Harley this time, because they really, to me, compared to in the past, they really grabbed onto the social media YouTube influencers this time. Because I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
with
think-
Adams, in my opinion, with Adam Sandoval,
Yep.
he used to say when he had a contract with him, they were very strict on him, and they might be strict with people now, but like you've got like Travel and Tall, Her Two Wheels, Shade. There are others that went out to the deserts and they took them out there and tore the Pan Americas up, and they actually had professionals teach them how to ride off road. I mean, we all see that more than you watch
Yep.
commercials,
They didn't. Yeah, more people have seen that than the motorcycle that they gave to Jason Momoa. Apparently,
Exactly.
So
Spot on.
They knocked it out of the park with the way they did it this
Yeah.
time around. I would agree.
I just hope they continue that trend.
So what do you guys think about the revival bike from last year?
Acquired taste, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. The concept of what they're doing is a good idea. What they come out with this year, I'd like to see. It makes you curious on what they're going to do. It keeps you guessing, keeps that market guessing. But like Jared said, you're almost, I don't want to say connoisseur.
Yep,
But-
and not only that, I think that shoot, what was I going to say? They marketed it to the right people. They made just the right amount of motorcycles, and they put it at the right price point, and everyone that I ever saw on the floor was just
So,
Yep.
well,
But
and
they
I-
also numbered them, right? So I mean,
Yep.
it's like
Yeah, that's what I was trying
people
to say.
like Jay Leno, it's like they get the number one off the floor,
Yep.
I kind of felt with that bike. I saw one up close. This was right towards the end of when the contract with the company was out. So I got to see one before it hit the showroom floor. I really like that blue paint,
Yes.
but I think they overdid the white a little too much.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see a little
The
more
blue
of
honeycomb design, I did like that. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
It
Yeah.
was a good color.
it was definitely a color that didn't picture what as well as it looked in real life.
That is
I
true.
saw one of bluegrass, and I couldn't believe,
Yes.
the way it transitioned in the light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sparkle in it was a good color. I will say I was kind of surprised that this was, and I have the same thought about this bike as I do the STs, the upper, the road glide and the street glide. It should have been stripped. It should have had no radio. It should have been a bare bones bike.
I 100%.
Well, isn't that what they
agree
started
with
out
that.
as? I mean, that's what they were initially. The Electric Glide, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a 50s
Yeah.
ish,
The first electronic ignition, right? Isn't that what I understand?
something like that. But yeah, I mean, but it had the RDS. It had, it was an upper tier model. But I think it should have had none of that. It should have had bare minimum, no radio, like cruise control would have been to me just on the hair too much.
Yeah.
Partially because the thing about it having cruise control, it's like the guy that's buying that bike is not riding it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
There's two guys who's going to buy it. One's going to buy it for prestige because it's a it's a limited
Yeah,
number.
it's expensive.
The
Right,
other guy
right.
that's going to buy is going to have that exact same model sitting in his garage that he's owned for 30 years.
Yeah.
Who wants the matching set.
Yep.
And he'll take it to a couple bike nights a year. It'll go for service once a year. It'll get a couple 100 miles at best a year. That's what those bikes will do. Most of them.
trying to show you, when we were riding through, I was on the way back. We were on the way back from Georgia from my dad's funeral or memorial service and stuff, and we passed through. I want to say this is. I need to see. I was trying to see which dealers we hit. Like 3. We're probably like most. Whenever we're around an area or a city, we try to stop by if there's a dealership. And this one dealership, I want to say it was. No, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. When I went up to Ohio to buy my truck, we swung back by one of the dealerships through there. It might have been Buckeye, but I can't remember for sure. But I'll show you this real quick. They had 2 of them, the originals and the
and one of the
Yeah, my
the newer
dealership
ones
has
side by side.
wow, that's
my
cool.
dealership has one of the originals. They keep a piece of cardboard underneath it because it leaks oil.
But yeah, they had them side by side, and I was just like, "That's
That's-
awesome!" I had to get
Yeah,
that.
see, that's
really cool.
and like I said, that paint does look good in pictures, but it's even more phenomenal in
Yeah.
real life.
It doesn't do it justice in pictures.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely.
That's like I like the Venom paint. There's a lot of people that gives that Venom paint a lot of shit, but I kind of like it. I wish they would make that
that's-
color without the flip. I would love that green without the flip.
Okay.
I think that paint would sell a lot better without that big dopey #1 that's on there, because I think at least on the road glides and the street glides, I mean, it was just really oddly positioned on there, only on one side, if I remember correctly, and it just looked kind
Yeah.
of silly.
That was their
But, like-
intent, though, I think.
Yeah, if you saw it on a Road King special, it was on the saddlebags, and that was it. And it was
Yeah.
mirrored on both sides, and it looked amazing. And I think they probably sold a bunch more.
So I'm going to share this. I'm going to share my screen, and you guys are going to get a outside tour of Uranus.
Oh, this sounds like a good time for me to take it back.
It
Oh
sounds
my God. Okay,
sounds
so
dark
we're
and
all going to see our own
Wait a
asses. Is
minute.
that what we're saying?
Google Chrome would like to record this.
You're going to show us our asses?
we are a bunch of asses, Toby.
Hopefully, I can make this work. All right. Can you see this?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, I have to go in and do some preferences things. Hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry.
No worries. As I say, I'm going to have to. I want to start doing some lives myself just for the virtue of getting familiar with StreamYard.
Yeah, and I need to get the paid version to do all this fancy like branding and stuff on here, but we have it on the podcast. So
I was gonna say I thought you did on the. I thought that's what.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is my personal one.
Yeah, I started dabbling into the podcasting thing, but I don't know. It's one of those things like I understand why you guys have 5, because you need that dynamic
Yeah.
to keep the conversation going.
My son was asking me earlier when I stepped out to go make the drink. He's like, "Are you live streaming?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, but I mean, technically, no, I'm not the one live streaming, but I am part of a live stream. Yes." And he's like, "So it's what do you say? Half of what is it? The old adage, 6 in one, half a dozen the other, or that kind of thing."
Yeah.
And then I was telling him, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not." He's like, "That's got to be really hard to do." I was like, "Yeah, probably, because I mean, you got to really fill in all the dead space, or you got to avoid the quiet talk, and 5:30. I mean, 5 people on there makes it probably helps with that. Doesn't make it impossible, but I was telling him, I was like, that's probably where you got to have research where somebody's set and has side questions or topics to bring up in the middle of dead space or whatever. I mean, you and Ryan are really great at that. So, I mean,
fortunately, it wants me to restart Chrome in order for this to work. So I don't want to do that, and the live stream goes kaput. I'll have to wait and do it on the live stream on Tuesday. Unfortunately, because we'll be talking Sports Duress after the reveal that day, midday, and then we'll be talking about Uranus.
So, what's your predictions on the price?
Price?
good question. What? Okay, so what was last year's price? Because I don't remember.
It's 14 or 15.
Smaller engine. I'm going to say we're going to be
You think they're going to go
12.5.
smaller on the engine, or you think they're going to stay the same?
It's going to be a 975.
I think it'll be around 12.5. I'll say 12.5.
He says 17.9. Ooh.
That's my thing about the lowrider and the lowrider ST. There, you look at the ST model, you got 6 other bikes within $1,000 of that price.
Yeah.
You know, and that's if you can get one at MSRP.
Well, I mean, don't you think? I mean, that's where I don't know. And maybe this is why I wouldn't be a good salesperson, because I'd want a person to sit on bikes, see how they feel, like they're supposed to take you through, especially a new person, right?
Right.
An experienced person would know, I'm going to sit on bikes, see how I feel, demo ride them, demo a few, see how I feel, whatever. By pricing them that way, maybe you make a new buyer or somebody who you're trying to attract, that target. Maybe you're trying to say, hey, make them think, because that's what they say. They don't look at the overall price. They ask you, what's your monthly payment? What are you looking at? Because it's easier for you to look at that than it is for you to say, okay, I'm going to pay 18 grand for a bike. No, it's not going to ask you that. They're going to say, what can you afford? I can afford $450, $550 a month. And then when you're talking $1,000 difference between bikes, that's only like $10 to $50 more per month, depending upon your credit and interest.
Yep.
So,
and loan term, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
yeah, they can bump you out an extra year, and
that $1,000 between bike differences is in the grand scheme is nothing.
But I mean, at the same time, that's the sneaky part of the deal. I mean, hey,
exactly.
You could buy this. What's it called? The Softail Standard for $13,500 for 48 months, and it's $450 a month. I'm just making numbers up, or you could put on a 72-month loan, and you can buy this Lowrider S. Same price. Ooh, so
yeah.
I think that's they use that selling tactic. It's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I can afford that. Wow, and then that does step people up to the next level.
And then you're not even talking about. We're not even talking about when you get into the financing office and you're talking about warranties and service plans, and then all the accessories if you're going to finance those in and buy that stuff. I mean, it's.
Yeah, so a current Sportster S is $15,500 according to the website. So I'm thinking,
holy crap!
I'm thinking $13,900
for a new Sportster. Is what you think the new ones are going to drop for?
I think they're going to be.
I don't know.
That is outrageous.
Have you ever seen the next model year release at a lower price than the previous model year?
Yeah, but that is still an astounding amount.
Sometimes I don't recall.
The regular, the last generation Sportsters are still going. They're going like $12,000 for an 883.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's insane. They just
ridiculous.
Recently cranked the prices way up.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing is they're looking at the new model releases and stuff, but at the same time, how many emails have you guys gotten from your local dealers, if it's Harley, saying, hey, we'll buy your used bike even at retail price almost? I mean, they're trying to get used bikes in because that's really kind of the trend right now.
This is the way I look at it. Like they're going to be getting rid of the 883 soon because they have to.
Yep.
They need something more affordable, so that's why I'm thinking 12.5. You gotta have something close. I'm thinking they're gonna have something closer to the 10 grand price point just to keep.
Do you think it'll be more stripped down?
I think so. I think it's gonna. We're talking possibly a smaller engine, more stripped down, just lighter. With that engine would still be quick.
I mean, they're talking about they've already got those. What is it? Those they're looking at doing the like 250 cc's and 500 ones in India and overseas.
Mm-hmm. They actually
they're making 300 cc Harleys overseas.
They just imported some, and there's been a lot of speculation about. I think Randy Ozarks did a video on it, talking about how the possibility of one coming to America. I don't think we're going to get one in America. Here's from my knowledge of that whole industry. The reason it probably got a VIN is because they want to bring one permanently in the States, not as a I'm going to sell model, but as like, even if they want to just have it on display.
It's kind of like a placeholder for buying a domain, basically.
Well, I mean, the thing
so
is,
you have it.
right. They're going to put one in a museum, but the thing is, to import it because of import laws, they would have to go through a certain level of process to get a VIN number, so that they otherwise they can only bring it in for so long, and then it has to go right back out. That's the law.
Okay.
So like Ferrari, when they would bring some of those cars that they only do on the show market that never actually sold in the States, they bring it on a special bond. They would say how long it was in the United States, and it had to be back out of the United States, or they'd be huge fines. So that's to me the reason why I think the only way we might see this bike in the States, it's going to be their trainer bike. It's going to be the one that replaces the street.
Yes, I can see
That's
that.
a good idea. That's a good point.
I don't think it's going to be a production sold motorcycle in the States at all.
I think a perfect example of how another company did that was 2006, 2007 timeframe when Kawasaki imported a whole bunch of 125s from overseas.
That's a great
to sell
point.
almost exclusively to MSF courses and stuff. That's what they did.
Well, I
with all
rode
the
one.
motorcycles.
Well, mine was a Yamaha though.
Well, because they don't have to pass emissions. They never hit the road. They're always in a parking lot or some other, private property. So
Not going above 35 miles an hour.
Right. Here's my other reasoning for my 13.9 price. The 1200 currently is 12.3. I don't think they're gonna sell a bike with more tech for less than what
No, I would agree with that. What do y'all think about Dustin highlighted the other comment earlier about the Scout?
That's
lot
why
about
I'm
it.
thinking this one's going to be lower in the lower price range
It has
around
to
where
be,
I'm
yeah.
thinking, because you have to compete with Indian.
Right. Because
Exactly.
one of Indians, I just was looking on there. I mean, I don't follow a lot of the other ones. I just look at them when they're brand new, and then I leave them alone.
I mean, they're starting
Right.
at $9,000.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, 9 or 10. Yeah.
If you don't compete with them, then I mean they're your primary competitor, in my opinion, right now.
So-
Indian.
Where would you say they would draw a line? Because you got to think there's yes, it's competition and it's good for us, for the consumer. At the same time, though, part of it would also say Harley could be saying, you know what, you guys are still chasing us. We're still going to price $1,000, $2,000 above your bobber, your chieftain, or your scout, and we're still going to sell this at the bike.
Yeah, 1,000 or 2,000 above, I think is fine. But when we had somebody say 16 grand, I think that's a little high.
I would
Yeah,
agree.
it has to be.
Personally.
It has to be measurably, like, I would say, just not even a lot, but like a little bit better.
Just
to
remember,
sway
you're
you to
paying
spend
for a
little more.
name.
Yes.
And
You
not
go
on-
buy
not-
you go buy a pair of Fila's and you go buy a pair of Nikes. You're paying for a
Fila is as
logo.
expensive as Nike is nowadays.
What
But
happened?
Maybe something that a lot of us forget about, since we're already in the Harley community, is the dealership network. Like I
Yes.
used
No,
to have a
that has
Kawasaki,
been a huge
and there was
conversation. piece.
nowhere that I could
Yeah.
get worked on. Nowhere. No one would even be like, "Well, we'll change the oil," but that's it. And I was like,
Yep.
"Okay, what about the tire?" And they're like, maybe. That'll be like
So you fast forward and
$300
give Indian
just to change a tire.
10, 15, 20 more years. Granted, we'll all be in the upper category of that baseline again. But
Hey, now speak for yourself.
yeah, 20 more years and you'll be in your 50s almost, right?
I'll be there.
I'm just saying that it's
I'll finally be able to
the
afford
question.
that
I
Road Glide
think
ST.
the question for Indian, I think right now, honestly, and I think you guys would probably agree, is like what you just said, Jared, is their dealership network is what a 1/5 the size or 1/6 the size of Harley's.
Yeah.
So I think if they were equal in dealership size numbers, we'd be having a different conversation.
I know, especially from my experience coming from the Midwest out in Nebraska, it's not terribly remote, but out there, I know of in my state there was, I think 5 dealerships in Nebraska, and only one Indian dealership, and that's it. But I mean, the Nebraska's a great big long state, right? And
Yeah.
the dealerships are dotted here, there,
Right.
Mhm.
The Indian dealership, it's in Omaha. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah. Well, and that just goes back to, I mean, look, and this is no knock on Indian. Okay, it's a fact is a fact, right? So, bottom line is they can claim, you can, an Indian dealer or Indian can claim, Polaris can claim since 1901 all they want to, but the bottom line is Harley has 50 more years of manufacturing and sales dealership building growth experience and time than they do. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they stopped production in what, 52, something like that, 53. And so, I mean, it's not a knock. It's just what the truth is. And when you don't have 50 years of growth, you don't have 50 years of growth, period. So,
You know, and kind of going into that for me, like at one point I was considering an Indian or Harley. Even at one point where my wife was like, "Why don't you just buy a new one?" And this is before I bought the Sportster. I was like, "No, I don't want to go in debt. I want to pay cash," and that's what I've done for these last 2 bikes. But with that said, when I was seriously looking at a brand new bike, I was looking at a Harley, I was looking at an Indian, and my thing was if it was a couple of grand less, and I was actually decided I was going to buy a new one, I might have bought an Indian.
yeah.
But the culture, the dealer network, the part availability, aftermarket support, they price with Harley, but they should be pricing to compete with Harley. They need to be a couple of grand under Harley. That's always been my thing. They should be a grand, at least $1,000 to $2,000 cheaper than a Harley Davidson right now. Now, a couple of years down the road, do they build the network to build the brand back up?
Oh, you're talking more than a couple, dude. You know,
well, 5, 10 years.
And I get what you're saying. I get the point. I know what you mean.
You know, anybody that's looking at that, unless they're really like, I don't want a Harley, if it comes down to these two, they're going to buy a Harley.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I drive past, and you guys saw Bluegrass is one of them. Harley Davidson of Louisville is another, and they're kind of off. They're right off 65, but their building is, their actual building is smaller than Bluegrass's old building was. So just to give you an idea, I passed 2 Harley dealerships, or theoretically with Bluegrass, on the way up to, and I have to go into Indiana to go to the nearest Indian dealer. So when it comes to, and somebody in here mentioned they're lucky they have 2 Indian dealers within 50 miles. When it comes to something like that, it goes back to what you just said, Travis, about if you're really thinking about what bike you're going to buy, it's not just insurance, it's the fuel cost, it's the drive, unless you're doing all your own service, and that's if you don't buy the warranty, the service plans, or whatever, all the minutia that goes with that. But I mean, you're talking, if I'm going to do whatever I buy for that bike, if I'm not buying it online, I have to go to a dealer, because Harley ain't selling Indian and Indian ain't selling Harley. So you have to decide, am I going to drive 50 miles every single time I want to order something that has to come from the dealer, or if I'm just doing services, I'm going to have to drive 50 miles one way every time. And then it comes down to the attitude of that service department. You could have an Indian dealer and a Harley dealer right next to each other, and the attitudes and the way you're treated, either one, could definitely change and make you turn and go to the other place just like that.
Oh my God, 100%. So, yeah, I would say that 50 miles, that's a good bit. But I mean, I used to, my nearest Harley dealer was more than 50 miles away, but I was always happy to drive that far because of something that Travis mentioned, is the atmosphere and the environment.
Yes, absolutely.
You'd walk in there, people were excited to see you, they got to know you, they'd talk to you, they were always welcoming. Versus like that Indian dealership that I used to go just browse around in, and they had Indian makes the Springfield Dark Horse, which is basically their version of a Road King Special. And I saw that bike for the first time. I was like, man, I almost traded. But that dealership was part of a Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha dealer.
So is mine.
And you asked them about it, and they just didn't care. They're just
A
like,
lot of them are actually,
it's an Indian.
for what I've seen,
It's pretty,
from my experience.
It's fancy. It's right. It's a motorcycle. It's like, okay. All right, you're not interested. Bye.
You know,
I was ready to take that thing for a test ride. I was like, I got this. I want to know what this is about. They weren't interested.
And you got to give it to it, because the Indian people that own Indians, primarily the newer models, you can't argue this. They have their own internal culture, right? Like what you guys said, the atmosphere, the culture, the whatever, the community in a Harley dealership. The Indian bikers, those who have them, they have that internally, but sometimes it doesn't seem like. And that dealership to dealership, it could be different in 2 different states, could be different right across the street, but those Indian dealerships may not have that. Like you just said, I mean, the one up in Indiana that I've been to, the riders have it, but
it's not their focus. That's not what.
But the dealership itself doesn't really have it.
Yep. They've got the bikes, but they're not focused on the network.
Yeah, see, he says it right there. He got the Indian because of how he was treated at the Harley dealer. That's exactly right. I mean, you can go to. It's both ways.
It's a 2-way street.
I mean, we stopped actually going to the HD dealer in Louisville and started going to Bluegrass because of how the service department treated us at the dealer in Louisville. So, I mean, it's same stinking city, for crying out loud.
Yeah, one of my worst experiences with a dealer, I was on the Sportster, and we were just in looking around, grabbing a few poker chips, and one of the guys, the first words out of his mouth when we were talking about me owning a Sportster, was like, "When you ready to move to a big boy bike?" And I'm like, that was the wrong fucking thing to say to me. I never in my life would I have ever done a Will Smith, but I wanted to. Like, I wanted to punch the dude right in his damn face.
Is that when you had the Sporty?
That's when I had the Sporty.
Yeah, I can't say I understand or relate. I've been asked that they've said, when are you going to buy, when are you going to move up to a brand new real bike? And I'm like,
a real man's bike. Yeah.
I'm like, and I tell them, hey, the bike I've got now probably smoked most of yours off the floor. So, but
especially anybody that rides an old Sportster, is one of those. It's got an old, old hard mount Sportster. You ride that thing regular, you're a real rider, because those things will beat the shit out of you.
You're hard.
Yeah. I did everything possible to that Sportster to make it more comfortable. I weighted the bars. I changed the seat. I put air shocks from a Road King on it. I upgraded the transmission gear to a 30 tooth so it would be better on the highway. I mean, I put Kurok grips on it. I did everything I possibly could to make this thing more comfortable. And it still wasn't. After about an hour, I needed to stop, which I had to fuel anyway because it was a 3-gallon fuel tank.
Yeah. Well, like you say, Sporties aren't meant to be long. In theory, by design, they're not meant to be long distance bikes.
And that's what I'm actually kind of excited for about the new Sportster.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't they have?
I don't know. No, obviously, the one
that's
that
part
they're
of what makes them
no.
cool.
Ty, I think, told me they have like a 3 to 3.5. The current ones have a 3 to 3.5 gallon tank. He said he gets about 124 something miles to the tank.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's that. I'll be honest. That's the piece of the thing is, if you've never experienced a Sportster is the cruiser version of a sport bike. It handles great. You can lean it over. Even the old being kind of really heavy for what they are for their size. The handling is just incredible. There's no experience like it.
Yeah, it's a real raw, visceral feeling.
Yeah,
it is absolutely.
So my
like
mom.
You said sorry.
After my stepfather passed away, like a year or so later, my mom, she'd ridden on the back with me. She'd ridden on the back a couple times, whatever, with other bikes, and she wanted a bike. She wanted to ride her own. So she found, and I tested it before. She in Portland, it's on the east side of Kentucky. She found a seller selling it was a 1200 Sporty. I don't remember what year, but beautiful, had like the pearl white with the blue trim on this, a purple or like bluish trim on the sides of the tank. Gorgeous. They had like Cobra exhausts on it. Like I said, beautiful bike. And she asked me to test ride, and that was the first time I'd ever put my butt on a Sporty. So I got on this thing and test rode it as if I was on my road glide. The guy that I pulled out got right in front of his house, and he's on a 4-way stop sign. So I got to that stop sign, and I mean, I wasn't even trying to let it rip. I was just opening it up to start going to speed, and I almost wheelied it right there. That's how much power this sucker. I was like, I hit that. I'm like, holy shit, this thing's got some awesome. This is light and power. Oh, I'm in trouble. Brilliant.
I always said my Sportster was never fast, but it was quick. Like it got up to speed pretty quick, but it wasn't the 100-mile-an-hour type of bike.
You'll beat stuff off the line, but you're gonna,
yeah. But that was the fun of it. It was, ripping the throttle. There's a couple people that I actually let ride the bike, and the first thing I always tell them, don't slam on that throttle. You will wreck the bike. I said, get it started, get it about 15 miles an hour, and lean into it.
If you don't know what you're doing,
that's the fun way to ride it. I think is leaning in.
Yeah, lean in. Second gear.
Let it make noise.
You have to.
Yeah,
you have to like lean in and
just lean on that throttle and just. Oh man, it's
and I didn't.
There's so
it
much
is.
fun to ride.
And the sound of it and the feeling of it, and like I said, the way it can lean, it can. Those things can lean like my Dyna can never. And I will always have a love for a Sportster. Maybe one of these days when I actually have enough space, I'll probably buy one to have as a second bike. But yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of girls' bike and whatever. It's not.
No, absolutely not.
And it's 1200 is not necessarily a good beginner's bike either.
No.
Every single person is different, man. It depends upon how your temperament is, what you're just handling. I mean, because there's people that go on that MSF course or whatever that will get on the small bike and you'll freak out by touching the throttle a little bit, even after being on it all day. Everybody's different.
Yeah, it was so funny. During my MSF course, the bike I was on, I was like, I couldn't do the slow, tight turns in it. And the problem was the throttle was, I won't call it sticking, but it was off, and I knew it was off. And I told the instructor, and the instructor at first was kind of blowing it off. He's like, but I was having such trouble. I was like, just let me use a different bike. So they put me on a different bike. I was doing it perfectly fine. And then he got on it and realized the throttle was off. It had this weird play in it that it was on or it was off. Like you couldn't feather it. And, it's, my wife has been talking about possibly learning how to ride, and she can't even ride a pedal bike. So I'm a little nervous in that respect.
You should probably teach her to do that first.
I grew up, I rode BMX, I rode mountain bikes, I rode dirt bikes, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, tractors. I grew up out in the country. So, literally the area I lived in was 99.9% white, and it was cornfields as far as the eye can see,
Hey, that sounds like where I live.
It was.
Dang.
We're white as hell.
Yeah, it's culture shock when you moved to.
So
I went to college.
I went Uranus?
I went to college in Phoenix, so it was quite a change from small town Illinois to big city Phoenix.
Was it Mount Grizz fan? Have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thanks for joining the stream.
Wow. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm also kind of excited to see if she'll actually do it.
You'd be surprised. There were some people in my MSF course that just took off with it, never been on bike before. And then there's some that, had been on a bike or, once or twice, or were really enthusiastic about it and failed the course. Yep. And remember, we had one guy, he was an older gentleman. He was probably in his mid to late 50s. And he was so excited to be there. He's like, all my buddies ride Harleys. I can't wait to pass this course and go buy one and ride with them. That guy didn't even get on the bike and fell over and hit his head. Luckily, helmet. But that happened 3 times. They had to send him home. That's crazy.
Safety issue. Yep.
Yep.
We had a guy when we were and Travis, you might know this place. Sorry, there's a what dealer was it? It was we were heading up to pick up my truck, and we stopped off at two dealerships between here and there on the way up there. It was the dealership was up towards Daytona or Dayton, excuse me, Dayton. God knows. Anyway, so we get into this place just to go check out the dealership, and no shit, there's a Sportster brand new, because this was back in like October. So Sportster brand new sitting outside the salesperson's offices, whatever. And the lady at the motor clothes counter told us, yeah, the guy that's buying that is picking it up today with his dad here. This is his first motorcycle ever, and he has not been to the MSF course.
Oh boy.
He is going to take it out in the parking lot, ride it around, get familiar real quick, and then ride it home. I took pictures of the bike as I'm like, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to be looking like this for long.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you suppose that happens? I mean, when I went and took my motorcycle license class, like the test, it was actually, I didn't do an MSF. I just went and took it because I've been riding.
I had a buddy that did that. Got his learner's permit or whatever, and then went on. And,
yep.
Yeah,
I didn't even do that. I mean, I've been riding dirt bikes forever. I've been riding street bikes. I had no issue. I went to the DMV, and the gal asked me. She's like, "Oh, is this the first time taking it?" I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Have you ever tried this before?" I was like, "Nope." And then she's like, "Have you taken the learner's course?" I was like, "Nope." And she was just like, "Oh my lord, son, good luck." And I passed it with 100%. I mean, I borrowed a buddy's motorcycle, and his only stipulation was that I don't do too big of a power slide with his brand new motorcycle tires. He's like, "I don't want no flat spots." I was like, "Okay." And she came over. She's like, "Man, she's like, I've never seen someone come in and do this before." And I was like,
Well,
Did you have to do the figure 8 box?
Yep. And I did the cones too. The cones are like figure 8s, but only tighter. So you just wiggle the cones.
Yep.
And I passed it all. I just rode and did the thing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I watched people struggle, and so I mean, how many people do you think do that? Because every one of us have now spoken about how some new rider just goes out and does something crazy.
But I think Travis was about to say that, right? About riding dirt bikes. I had a buddy, a housemate I used to in the military that we shared a house with, and the dude was an avid dirt bike rider. I wasn't even riding bikes yet, but watching him, I was like, damn, that explains to me why and how easy street riding would come to you, because there's so many more technical variances of dirt riding that come into play that would make street riding that much easier to me, I would think.
There's still a learning curve. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
And I hadn't rode when I finally started riding, I hadn't ridden a dirt bike in 10, 15 years. But some of the same, they say you never forget how to learn how to ride a bike. And it's kind of that whole same thing. And
yeah,
some of the very basic concepts are all the same. It's just you're dealing with a lot more weight. The handling's completely different. How you turn, the whole leaning thing was something I'll be honest, I still sort of struggle with. My plan here very shortly, as soon as I get the bike back up and running and we get a nice day, I'm going to a parking lot. I've got cones, and I'm going to figure out where that lean is in that bike, because I found out after riding the triple nickel, my exhaust was put on incorrectly by somebody. So the bottom bracket that holds the two pipes together was scraping all the time. In fact, there was one point there was a lean, and part of this problem was that suspension issue I was talking about that caused the tire rub. But also when I was leaning, there was one point where I almost did this
That's
on the
yeah,
bike.
that
Like
that's
it
scary
grabbed.
stuff, man.
Oh, and
Yeah.
having the wife, on the back trying to do these high
Ooh.
curves, on the triple nickel, which is kind of like Tail of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, after that, I sat down and I was like, okay, what's wrong with this bike? I started, obviously fixing the whole shock issue, then, fixing the electrical. And then I started looking at the exhaust, and I knew it just didn't look right to me. And it was turned about 20 degrees to make it look better, because the tips were pointed out instead of slatted down. So I've turned those back to where they're supposed to be. And so far I've not found that scraping point. But I need to. I'm still kind of nervous doing the right hand turns, so I need to make that practice.
I think everybody. I was the same unit I was in with that roommate of mine. I said that did the dirt bike, and we were in another unit in Fort Campbell together, and I ended up being a rider coach at that unit because the unit we were in was off cycle from the rest of the installation for deployments. So they had us trained as rider coaches so that we could train our own guys and keep them certified with the advanced rider course and stuff like that. And he ended up being he ended up going to that unit also. But the funny thing is the one correction we had to keep telling him early on, and he corrected it very quickly, was initially when we started off on the basic stuff you do as for riding, familiarization and doing the circles and all that. It's like, dude, quit standing up on your bike. Quit standing up on your bike.
Yeah, it's easier to change your center of gravity.
Yeah.
Hard to do when you got forward foot controls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Travis, I to kind of wrapped up this whole conversation about you maybe getting your old lady on a motorcycle. One of Brittany's friends, she'd never ridden a motorcycle before in her life, and she sought a lot of inspiration from Brittany, just like because Brittany's one of her friends. She's like, wow, this is so cool. I want to learn how to ride too. And one of the first things we asked was like, do you even know how to ride a bicycle like that well? And she's like, well, not really. And we were like, well, maybe just kind of go brush up on your bicycle skills a little bit, regain your balance, and then take the MSF course. And I mean, they do a really good job with that MSF course. They teach you well, and she learned it. She picked it up quick, and boom, she's got a motorcycle license, and off she went. I mean, so
yeah, and I don't know how expensive it is in your area, but like Ohio, it's only $50.
It was like $25
$25
when I took it.
Yeah.
And you had your choice to, I think, to get it back if you passed.
wow.
Yeah,
It was either like you get a T-shirt or your money back or whatever. I was like, just donate it to the course.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
That's
because
really-
some
that's a
places
really
they
good
charge,
deal.
like if you go get it at the Harley dealership, if they do it, it's like $300.
Yep.
my Harley
Do it to
dealership
the
right now is
state.
doing it for like $100 right now.
Oh,
If you sign up,
You should.
that's
Yeah.
smarter to get more people
Yeah.
riding and.
A lot of dealerships I've seen, if you buy like a new bike to you, used, whatever, if you're a new rider, they just throw in the course for you for free.
and they should. That should just be a thing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. Well, guys, I got two tired little boys here, and one of them camps out on the couch every night. So I do need to shut down the stream. I want to thank the three of you and Brittany, wherever she went,
She's gone. She's
probably to
dead.
feed that dog a human arm or something.
probably take 3 weeks to brush his hair out. All the Jerry
The
curls,
dog's got its own comb. It's like
I
a
appreciate
from
you
a
inviting
whale
us on.
bone.
his Uranus
this is
brush.
fun.
Thank you for the invite.
Oh, there Uranus did have a bald man's brush that had no bristles. If you go to Five Dirty Bikers Instagram video page, we do a whole walkthrough through the store, the general store. You have to check it out, and outside too. It's worth the watch. It's pretty funny because I spent so much money on fudge. I got a free they have
Ball
a
wash.
newspaper. No, they have a newspaper called the Uranus. What was it
Ball
called?
wash.
Examiner.
Oh God, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
does
pun
it say
intended.
something like if you want to probe more into what's going about around Uranus or something like that?
Yep.
It's too bad you guys don't still have that sponsor from last season.
Oh, the Manscaped.
Yeah,
Still got the clippers though, man.
I've been wanting to ask how that happened, but I didn't want to ask on open forum to understand what happened with that. There's no way they crossed the lines of ethical.
No,
and
it was
cleanliness, so-
it was an ROI thing. We weren't, our code or whatever wasn't. Nobody was
Hitting
buying
the
them.
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, that's fine. We appreciate the opportunity, and
I guess you should have
the
waited
free
till after,
ball shavers.
Maybe you should have waited till after, or maybe that partnership should have waited till after Gronkowski did his ball shaving, commercials.
Perhaps.
I mean,
Three.
It's an acquired taste or skill.
it's hard to compete with some of these superstars,
All right.
But thanks for having us on.
Yes, thank you very
It was
much.
a good chat. I appreciate it,
man.
guys. You all
for
have a
inviting
good
us.
weekend. Make sure to listen to the podcast. We're actually not going to have a release on Monday because we took the week off because we went to Uranus. But we're doing a live on Tuesday. If you want to go to 5 Dirty Breakers YouTube channel.
Toby, what's this all about, man?
It's tough. It's tough. It's
You
tough,
said
man.
you're not going to have a release because you just came from Uranus. So I'm like,
It's hard to say. It's hard to say it with a straight face.
you
You guys probably should.
It's like when you guys. I told you all.
released from Uranus.
Dude, I
That's what you
commented
should
on that
have
when you guys did when you did your podcast, and it was old, but like I said, I haven't been listening. But when you did your podcast with the dude from Legend Suspension, I was like, how are they keeping straight faces throughout this entire thing? Because I don't know how many times that guy said stroke, or the full length of the shaft, or all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god,
You could do a drinking game with that one.
dude.
Some guests you have to feel them out. Yeah.
None of them were saying anything, and I'm like, wow, I gotta hand it to you guys. I know there must have been like some pre-conversation saying, you'll never end a podcast with this guy if you don't.
Yeah, he probably would have canceled halfway through if you guys would have giggled at
Yeah,
stroke
we
and shaft.
There's certain guests you have to kind of feel out a little bit to see which way you want to go with it. I mean, we want to stay 5 Dirty Breakers all the time, but some people, I mean, you gotta respect
absolutely.
the guest. You have to respect the
Respect
guest
the
sometimes.
Yeah.
And that was there was a lot of learning, he was putting out some awesome knowledge with that.
And I was
so.
seriously, I wanted to get educated because it was something that I have been considering, and we'll have to see. I'll have to get Brittany's opinion whenever she gets hers put on
Soon. The biggest issue we're running into right now is we can't get a hold of that castle nut socket. I mean, it's out of stock everywhere, so we'll be able to easily install that rear shock. It's 2 bolts, but that
Yep.
Where on
That's
the
a-
shaft does that go?
or on the shaft, it goes right under Uranus. That's what that one does.
I have a set of Legend shocks that are going on the bike here very soon. I had to get some new spacers for my bolts
Uranus.
Oh, bolts. Okay.
and my bolts.
All right, everybody.
Nice.
I'm gonna shut her down. Thanks again, gentlemen. It was a good chat. Good night.
Thanks.
See you, man.
Thank you
Later.
so much.